Chapter 368. Yi Qinfeng, are you okay? Don't scare me. When the Chaos Divine Beast saw Yi Qinfeng bleeding from his 7 orifices and standing still, its heart tightened. It quickly flew in front of him and asked anxiously, "Hun Dun, protect me." Yi Qinfeng opened his eyes and ordered. He sat cross-legged on the cracked ground and quickly assimilated the cultivation method of the divine change of 9 transformations. The divine change of 9 transformations was the #1 body-tempering divine art of the God race. It was divided into spirit body, true spirit body, aura body, Xian body, war body, celestial body, star body, saint body, and God body. Each transformation was further divided into 5 minor realms. It required one to form a divine pearl of power at the Shenmen acupoint, wrist, Yongquan acupoint, foot, Shanzhong acupoint, chest, Shinkei acupoint, navel, and Shunting acupoint, head. When the divine change of 9 transformations was cultivated to the extreme, one's physical strength could reach trillions, and one's physical body would become a god. One would have the strength to crush stars, shake the heavens, and traverse the universe. The #1 body-tempering divine art of the God race. What race is this God race? Is this God-eater brain related to the God race? Yi Qinfeng muttered to himself. He opened his eyes and looked at the floating Chaos Divine Beast. "Hun Dun, do you know about the God race?" "God race? I seem to remember, but why can't I remember?" The Chaos Divine Beast tried to recall, but it found that its mind was blank. "You really live up to your looks." Yi Qinfeng rolled his eyes at the pig-like Chaos Divine Beast and ignored it. He began to study the cultivation method of the divine change of 9 transformations, the first tier of the spirit-body transformation. This spirit-body transformation cultivation method is simple. As long as one accumulates enough energy and fuses it into the acupoints, one can form a spiritual pearl and break through the physical strength limit. And after reaching the first minor realm, one's physical strength can reach 3 million jin. The first tier of the divine change of 9 transformations was heaven-defying, but Yi Qinfeng knew that it was not easy to form 5 spiritual pearls in the 5 major acupoints. The energy required was even more terrifying. Otherwise, the divine change of 9 transformations would not be known as the #1 divine cultivation method of the God race. "Hun Dun, now that the array core of the extreme death is gone, are you going to follow me or leave by yourself?" Yi Qinfeng stood up slowly as he studied the cultivation method of the transparent spirit-body transformation. He looked at the divine beast of chaos who was guarding him silently and asked for its opinion. "Of course I'm following you." Because of the soul contract, the chaos divine beast was subconsciously very close to Yi Qinfeng. In addition, the chaos divine wood was very beneficial to it, so the chaos divine beast said without hesitation, "Since you've chosen to follow me, then let's make a deal." "Alright, go ahead. My 3 requests are very simple as well. They are to listen to me, and listen to me," Yi Qinfeng said with a faint smile. "What kind of lousy request is that?" The Chaos Divine Beast roared furiously. "You don't have to follow the rules, but I won't let you stay by my side," Yi Qinfeng said with a smile. He looked as if he was going to eat the Chaos Holy Beast. "Forget it. You." The divine beast of chaos ground its teeth. "So you agree?" Yi Qinfeng looked at the Chaos Divine Beast of Chaos and asked. "Roar." The Chaos Divine Beast of Chaos replied with hatred. "Since you've agreed, you have to call me boss in the future." "Don't call me kid," Yi Qinfeng said. F***CKY? How old are you?" The Chaos Divine Beast of Chaos protested loudly. "Just because of the 3 rules we made." "Why? Do you want to go back on your word?" "Forget it. You. The Chaos Divine Beast of Chaos answered sullenly. "By the way, Hun Dun, how much strength can you unleash in the current condition of your soul?" Yi Qinfeng asked. "Damn it, my strength has dropped by another level." My current strength should be equivalent to a level 6 heavenly beast. You're so weak now. A level 6 heavenly beast was equivalent to a level 6 reverse beast king. Although it was powerful enough in the Duhan continent, Yi Chunfeng was not satisfied. He asked in disappointment, "How can I restore your strength?" "It's not difficult to restore my strength. You just need to find me some demonic cores of level 9 heavenly beasts and saint beasts for me to devour. I'll be able to restore my strength quickly and reform my body," the Chaos Divine Beast of Chaos said. "Do you think level 9 heavenly beasts and saint beasts are cabbages that you can kill whenever you want?" Yi Chunfeng rolled his eyes at the Chaos Divine Beast of Chaos. "Don't you have the sword puppet? With his combat strength, killing level 9 heavenly beasts and saint beasts is as easy as killing a chicken." The Chaos Divine Beast of Chaos looked at the sword puppet in awe. The battle between the sword puppet and the broken finger had frightened him. After destroying the broken finger, the sword puppet's energy has been completely depleted. He can no longer unleash that kind of strength, Yi Chunfeng said with a sigh. If the sword puppet could continue unleashing that kind of strength, Yi Chunfeng would be able to do whatever he wanted in the Duhan continent. "I see. Chaos, this is for you." Yi Chunfeng took out the only level 5 heavenly beast's beast core and threw it to the Chaos Divine Beast of Chaos. A level 5 heavenly beast's beast core. It's just passable, but it should be useful. The Chaos Divine Beast of Chaos curled his lips and swallowed the beast core. He muttered in his heart and entered Yi Chunfeng's body. He parasitized in the Chaos Divine Wood and refined the beast core to recover. "It's time to bring senior sister Fu away." With a thought, Yi Chunfeng kept the depleted sword puppet into his Qiankuan ring and flew toward the inner ridge ice pool. "Master, what happened in the inner ridge? Will Chunfeng be okay?" The battle between the sword puppet and the broken finger had caused a huge commotion. It had affected the entire inner ridge. Fu Yue could not help but worry about Yi Chunfeng when she heard the earth-shattering sound. "Disciple, the dangers of the inner ridge are not something you can imagine. It's been more than 10 days and that kid still hasn't returned. I think he's most likely lost his life in the inner ridge," the Ice Emperor, who had aged a lot, said emotionlessly. In order to activate Fu Yue's ice spiritual constitution, the Ice Emperor had not only merged the blue Qian ice water that he had subdued earlier into her body. He had also transferred half of the soul power that he had cultivated throughout his life into her body to activate her ice spiritual constitution and raise her cultivation level to level 1 Dark Beast Overlord. "No, I believe in Chunfeng's strength. He will be fine." Fu Yue's face changed when she heard the Ice Emperor's words. She shook her head and said, "Sai, my disciple, I advise you to accept reality. Forget about that brat who doesn't know how high the sky is and how deep the earth is. Follow your teacher's legacy and spend the last few decades of your life with me." The Ice Queen sighed and said selfishly, "No, Master, I want to find Chunfeng." Fu Yue became more worried as she thought about it. She stood up suddenly and said, "No, I won't allow you to enter the inner ridge and lose your life for nothing." The Ice Emperor's face darkened. He stood in front of Fu Yue and ordered her not to disobey. "Master, I am indebted to Chunfeng. I can't watch him die in the inner ridge," Fu Yue said in a pleading tone. "You are indebted to him, but I am indebted to you too?" The Ice Emperor reprimanded sternly. "For you, I gave you the blue Qian ice water and half of my soul power. I also taught you the Ice Palace's supreme ice sealing sword technique. Don't tell me that all these can't compare to that kid? Master, I am indebted to Chunfeng for saving my life. Please forgive me for being stubborn this time." Fu Yue bit her alluring red lips and said without hesitation. She was about to rush into the inner ridge. "It's not up to you." With that, the Ice Emperor released a powerful aura that pressed down on Fu Yue's body like a mountain. In the next moment, the Ice Emperor's withered hands moved quickly. He condensed thousands of strands of soul power and bound Fu Yue's body. Master, what are you doing? Fu Yue struggled painfully. However, her strength was limited. She couldn't break free from the Ice Emperor's restraints. I asked you to calm down, the Ice Emperor said with an ugly expression. When you calm down, I will return your freedom. Ice Emperor, aren't you forcing me to do something I don't want to do? Suddenly, a low voice sounded. Yi Chunfeng flapped his golden rock wings and turned into a stream of light as he flew over from afar. Mobile users can visit Chapter 369. Qingfeng. Seeing Yi Chunfeng flying towards her, Fu Yue's heart finally calmed down. Her pale face revealed an excited smile. He's not dead. The Ice Emperor, on the other hand, was astonished. He couldn't believe that Yi Chunfeng had actually survived such a devastating storm. Ice Emperor, let senior sister Fu go. Yi Chunfeng landed and looked at Fu Yue, who was bound by a large number of soul strands, with a gloomy face. Kid, tell me, what happened to you in the Death Ridge? How are you still alive with your strength? The Ice Emperor looked at Yi Chunfeng with his cloudy eyes and asked coldly. He had no intention of letting Fu Yue go. Let senior sister Fu go and I'll tell you, Yi Chunfeng said in a low voice when he saw the sharpness in the Ice Emperor's eyes. All right. I hope you're not lying to me. Otherwise, I won't go easy on you. The Ice Emperor warned coldly. After speaking, he released the soul strands that bound Fu Yue's body and let her run to Yi Chunfeng's side. Now, can you tell me what happened in the Death Ridge? The Ice Emperor asked in a low voice. I don't know what happened in the Death Ridge, but I found a way to leave this place. Yi Chunfeng said half-truthfully. Qingfeng, you really found a way to leave the Death Ridge? Fu Yue raised her eyebrows and asked in a slightly excited voice. I came back to bring you out of this place. Yi Chunfeng nodded and said. Impossible, with your strength, how could you find a way to leave this place? You must be lying to me. Being trapped in the Death Ridge and enduring the loneliness and despair, watching his life slowly depleting, the Ice Emperor could not take it no matter how strong his heart was. His heart was twisted. Right when he accepted his fate and waited for the arrival of death, he unexpectedly found out that Yi Chunfeng had only used a little over 10 days to find the exit that trapped him to death. This caused him to be unable to accept this fact, and he fell into madness. Master, why don't you come with me and Qingfeng? Maybe we can really leave this damned place. Fu Yue looked at the Ice Emperor, who had lost control of his mind, and said, Get out, get out! Suddenly, a murderous look appeared in the Ice Emperor's eyes. He looked at Yi Chunfeng and said, Brat, hand over your soul obediently. Let me see if you are lying or not. As he spoke, an earth-shattering aura erupted from the Ice Emperor's withered body. It was like a mountain pressing down on Yi Chunfeng. Master, what are you doing? You can't hurt Qingfeng. Fu Yue did not expect the Ice Emperor to want to devour Yi Chunfeng's soul. She quickly stood in front of Yi Chunfeng and screamed, You, don't think that you can go against me just because you've inherited my legacy. If he really finds a way out, I'll take back everything I've given you. The Ice Emperor said emotionlessly with a ferocious expression. Master, Fu Yue's body trembled. She could not believe what she had heard. She could not accept that the Ice Emperor's feelings for her over the past 10 days were fake. Senior Sister Fu, he took you in as his disciple to continue his legacy and lessen his regret. Now that things have taken a turn for the better, he naturally wants to take a gamble. If he succeeds, he may have a chance to continue living. So he wants to take back everything he has given you. Yi Chunfeng saw through the Ice Emperor's thoughts and said slowly, Junior, you are very smart. You actually guessed my thoughts. The Ice Emperor looked coldly at Yi Chunfeng and said, But you really shouldn't have told me the truth. If you were in despair, I would not have hurt you. But now I will not let you live. Why do you think I dared to tell you the truth when I clearly guessed your thoughts? Yi Chunfeng stood straight like a steel spear. He looked at the Ice Emperor, who was gradually calming down and exuding a strong murderous intent. Junior, don't think that you can fight me just because I gave her half of my soul power. I will let you know the difference between the Reverse Beast King and the Profound Beast Sect. The Ice Emperor's eyes flashed with murderous intent. An ice blade that was 6 feet and 6 inches long appeared in his hand. It was a low-grade heavenly weapon. When I was at my peak, I was indeed no match for you. But now I can kill you like killing a dog. With that, a high-pitched dragon roar sounded from Yi Qinfeng's body. The double-headed Blood Dragon King, which was more than 3,000 meters long, appeared and circled above his head, roaring at the Ice Emperor. Double-headed Blood Dragon. Seeing Yi Qinfeng's spiritual beast, the Ice Emperor was not shocked. Instead, he was overjoyed. He said excitedly, "Kid, you are the best gift that the heavens have given me. After devouring your soul and occupying your body, I may be able to take the most difficult step and break through to the Emperor level. Then I can leave this place. It will be even better." "Sai, you are still dreaming. I have to say that your brain is really rusty." Yi Qinfeng sighed softly. After fusing with the double-headed Blood Dragon King, his strength instantly reached the level of a second-grade Reverse Beast King. The terrifying dragon aura shook the world. Then, Yi Qinfeng circulated the 8 Sha Azura art and condensed 4 killing halos, increasing his strength again. And, sensing Yi Qinfeng's sudden increase in strength, the Ice Emperor, who was at the end of his life and had lost half of his soul power, changed his expression. He sensed a trace of danger from Yi Qinfeng. Just as he was shocked, Yi Qinfeng made his move. His entire body turned into a shocking sword light that tore through layers of air and stabbed towards the Ice Emperor's throat at lightning speed. Ice Seal Saber Art. Yi Qinfeng's sword pierced over, and the Ice Empress immediately reacted. The ice blade in her hand glowed with cold light, and 6 water Dao patterns appeared. As the ice blade fell, it condensed into a powerful ice saber light. The saber slashed towards Yi Qinfeng, blocking his swift sword. Sword Dao, Thunder Dao Intent Break. The attack was blocked by the Ice Emperor's saber. 10 Sword Dao patterns and Thunder Dao patterns flew out of Yi Qinfeng's body and bombarded the ice saber light, breaking it like a hot knife through butter. What? Sword Dao First Heaven and Thunder Dao Intent First Heaven? When the Ice Emperor saw that Yi Qinfeng's sword had fused with 10 Sword and 10 Thunder Dao patterns, he revealed a look of disbelief. Wrath of Divine Punishment. While the Ice Emperor was still in shock, the Black Heavenly Fire, Ancient Extreme Purple Thunder, and Ancient Profound Ice surged out of Yi Qinfeng's body and quickly formed a tricolored destructive light ball. It crushed the void and bombarded the Ice Emperor's body like a meteor. Ice Seal Saber Art, Ice Seal Heaven and Earth. Sensing the destructive power of the wrath of divine punishment, the Ice Emperor, who couldn't dodge, immediately executed his ultimate move. The Water Dao patterns fused into the ice blade. In an extremely short period of time, he slashed out 36 times consecutively. The densely packed blade lights were like surging waves, boundless and endless. Each blade was stronger than the previous one as it slashed into the wrath of God's punishment, forcibly splitting open a gap in it. Explode. After the wrath of divine punishment was slashed open by the Ice Emperor, Yi Qinfeng immediately detonated it. The destructive power that shook heaven and earth erupted. It was like a huge devouring mouth that swallowed the Ice Emperor and crazily destroyed his old body. 10,000 miles Ice Seal, Tear the Void. The Ice Emperor's injuries were getting worse and he was on the verge of death. He didn't hesitate to burn his thin flame of life. With the help of the 6 Water Dao patterns, he forcefully tore apart the destructive storm and was about to escape. It's over. 7 Swords of Judgment, Thunder Devour. The Sword Dao patterns and Thunder Dao patterns quickly gathered and formed a giant thunder sword that could split the heaven and earth. It carried a shocking destructive power, and slashed the body of the Ice Emperor, who had turned pale with fright. The sword split open his severely injured body. Large amounts of blood spurted out like a fountain from his body. God-devouring brain, devour! After splitting open the Ice Emperor's body, Yi Chunfeng quickly appeared behind him. He pressed one hand on the Ice Emperor's head and used the soul-devouring art to devour his spiritual beast. He also used the 8-Sha Azura art to absorb the dense death aura that permeated the Ice Emperor's body and ended his life. For mobile users, please visit Chapter 370. The Extremity of Life, What a Dense Aura of Death. After devouring the large amount of death aura released by the Ice Empress, the speed of the 8-Flash Azura art was pushed to the limit. It devoured all the ink-black death aura that filled the air into Yi Chunfeng's body. In less than 10 breaths of time, Yi Chunfeng had condensed the 5th killing halo. The killing power had reached an extremely terrifying level. When Fu Yue saw the Ice Emperor being killed by Yi Chunfeng, she felt an inexplicable pain in her heart. Although she already knew the true reason why the Ice Emperor had taken her in as a disciple, she was still indebted to the Ice Emperor. If it wasn't for the Ice Emperor, she definitely wouldn't have been able to obtain the Blue Qian Ice Water, activate the Ice Spirit Body, learn the Ice Palace's supreme inheritance, and increase her strength to the level of a first-grade mystic beast ancestor in such a short time. Senior sister, let's go. Yi Chunfeng took away the Ice Emperor's belongings and looked at Fu Yue with a complicated expression. Qingfeng, after all, I am indebted to him. Let me bury him before we leave. Fu Yue sighed softly. All right, I'll help you. Yi Chunfeng nodded. He helped Fu Yue dig a hole beside the cold pond and buried the Ice Emperor's body. Master, no matter what your motive is for taking me in as your disciple, I sincerely acknowledge you as my master. I guarantee that I will definitely bring your legacy to greater height. Before I leave, please accept my 3 bows. With that, Fu Yue knelt in front of the slightly bulging grave and kowtowed 3 times before leaving with Yi Chunfeng. Senior sister, are you all right? Yi Chunfeng looked at the slightly pale Fu Yue and said softly, Don't worry about me. Fu Yue shook her head lightly and squeezed out a smile. Qingfeng, you've really found the way out of Death Ridge. Yeah, we really found it. Let's leave this place now. Yi Chunfeng nodded and said. He brought Fu Yue to the heart of the extreme death array. Because the 3 supreme-grade celestial artifacts had been devoured by the sword puppet and the battle between the sword puppet and the severed finger, the entire core of the extreme death formation had become extremely fragile. Yi Chunfeng effortlessly tore apart the fragile space barrier and opened a gap to leave. He and Fu Yue left the Pole of Death where no one had ever left alive and came to a valley with towering ancient trees, a calm lake, and wild flowers. It was like a paradise on earth. We're out. We're finally out. Looking at the beautiful scenery in front of her, Fu Yue only felt a gust of fresh air. The simple and elegant smell of the earth hit her in the face. Her sorrowful mood improved a lot, and a charming smile appeared on her cold and elegant face. The peak of life, this is the peak of life. I didn't expect the heart of the extreme death array to be connected to the entrance of the peak of life. Sensing the aura of the outside world, the divine beast of chaos, who had just refined the level 5 heavenly beast's demon pill and stabilized his severely injured soul, floated out of Yi Chunfeng's body and said excitedly, Pig Qingfeng, why is there a pig in your body? Looking at the divine beast of chaos, Fu Yue raised her eyebrows and asked in confusion. She could not understand why Yi Chunfeng would have a pig with him. What an ignorant girl! Have you seen a pig as handsome as me? The divine beast of chaos said angrily. Why, you're not a pig? Hearing the divine beast of chaos speak human language, Fu Yue was even more surprised. That's right. I'm a divine beast of chaos, one of the most powerful divine beasts in the universe. The divine beast of chaos boasted proudly. Divine beast. Fu Yue sucked in a breath of cold air. She looked at Yi Chunfeng and asked, Chunfeng, is it really a divine beast? Yes, it is a divine beast. However, it only has its soul left and needs time to recover its strength. Yi Chunfeng nodded and said, Oh right, divine beast of chaos, you said this is the peak of life. That's right. The chi of life here is so strong. It's definitely the peak of life. The divine beast of chaos nodded and looked back and forth with its big, sneaky eyes. Divine beast of chaos, is this peak of life dangerous? What treasures are there in it? Yi Chunfeng did not dare to enter recklessly after seeing how terrifying the extreme death was. Don't worry, the two extremes of life and death. The extreme death is a place of great danger, but the extreme life is a place of great fortune. The degree of danger is definitely not as terrifying as the extreme death. The divine beast of chaos said, If the extreme life is not destroyed, after 170,000 years of evolution, it will definitely give birth to a spirit of life. Spirit of life? What is that? Yi Chunfeng asked. The spirit of life is a living creature that has been nurtured for more than 100,000 years at the extreme life. It has the ability to revive the dead. As long as there is still a breath left, the spirit of life can pull him back from the gates of hell. Even in the heaven region, the spirit of life is an incredible treasure. It is enough to make many almighty in the heaven region fight over it. The divine beast of chaos explained in detail. It's so magical. Then we have to explore the extreme life. Opportunities and risks coexisted. Yi Chunfeng dared to explore the extreme death, a place of great danger. He was not afraid of the extreme life. Moreover, he had developed a strong interest in the spirit of life. Let's go, senior sister. Divine beast of chaos, let's go in and take a look. With that, Yi Chunfeng, who was skilled and bold, led Fu Yue and the divine beast of chaos into the heaven-like valley that was rich in the power of life. And there are signs of fighting. Could it be those three from the Ice Palace? Their true goal is the extreme life. As they went deeper into the valley, Yi Chunfeng saw many signs of fighting and dried blood. He guessed that the Ice Palace's peerless kings had entered this place. About 2 hours later, Yi Chunfeng and the others walked out of the valley where the scenery was pleasing. They passed through a restriction that was not very powerful and entered the extreme of life, where ancient trees towered into the sky. Before they had taken a few steps, an angry beast roar rang out. A black panther, over 10 meters long, with a streamlined body and covered in black fur, leapt out from the thick bushes. It bared its long fangs and roared at them. Level 6 Heavenly Beast. Seeing the Black Panther suddenly appear in front of them, Yi Chunfeng was slightly surprised. He had not expected that as soon as they entered the extreme life, they would meet a Level 6 Heavenly Beast that was equivalent to a Level 6 Reverse Beast King. Don't panic, leave this little panther to me. Without waiting for Yi Chunfeng to take action, the Chaos Divine Beast floating in mid-air gave a strange cry. Like a moving mini-mountain, it pounced towards the Black Panther, engaging it in a fierce battle. Although the Chaos Divine Beast did not have a physical body, and its power was greatly reduced, it was still a divine beast, and in terms of attacks and abilities, it far surpassed the Black Panther. In less than half an incense's time, the Level 6 Heavenly Beast Black Panther was torn apart by the Chaos Divine Beast, its blood and demonic core devoured. Such power! Looking at the scene of the Chaos Divine Beast spirit tearing apart the Level 6 Heavenly Beast Black Panther, Fu Yue's face was full of shock, and she completely believed in its strength. With the Chaos Divine Beast protecting them, the pressure on Yi Chunfeng and Fu Yue was greatly reduced. As for the Level 7 and above Heavenly Beasts in the extreme life, they were also sensed by Yi Chunfeng's powerful soul spirit and avoided them. Very quickly they entered the depths of the extreme life, and found a sky-like barrier, filled with countless runes and restrictions. Beneath the sky screen's restriction sat a man covered in blood. His hair was dry and white, and he only had one arm. Looking at the one-armed man in the distance, Yi Chunfeng's lips curled into a cold smile, and he slowly walked over. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record your reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 371. It's you guys. You guys actually managed to leave the Death's Pole alive. Hearing the footsteps, the one-armed man who was sitting cross-legged under the sky barrier opened his eyes. When he saw Yi Chunfeng and Fu Yue walking over slowly, he was startled and exclaimed in disbelief. It was as though he had seen a ghost. Why? Are you surprised? Yi Chunfeng revealed a cold smile and said, Now we should settle the score. You want to kill me? Let's see if you have the ability. The one-armed man burst out with a roar, and the blood in his body burned instantly. A terrifying beast soul appeared behind him, and roared at Yi Chunfeng. Deathly silent blade light. After burning the power of blood and qi and fusing with his spiritual beast to forcefully suppress the serious injuries on his body, the one-armed man burst up. The bone-white blade light entwined with the power of death slashed at Yi Chunfeng. Yi Chunfeng's pupils shrank, and he instantly fused with the two-headed blood dragon king. His aura changed, and rays of light leaked out from his body. He was like a divine sword that was about to be unsheathed, incomparably sharp. 7 swords of judgment, thunder devour. Yi Chunfeng slashed out with his sword, and the dazzling lightning giant sword soared into the 9 heavens. Thunder Dao patterns and Sword Dao patterns revolved around the lightning giant sword, as though they wanted to split the sky in half. Boom! The 2 great soul skills collided, and a deafening explosion sounded. Endless energy ripples repulsed each other in mid-air. But after a moment, the bone-white deathly silent blade light began to shatter, and was penetrated by the destructive Sword Dao patterns and Thunder Dao patterns. What? First level of Thunder concept? Seeing that the lightning giant sword was not only filled with 10 Sword Dao patterns but also 10 Thunder Dao patterns, the one-armed man revealed a look of horror and quickly dodged. Wrath of divine punishment. The moment he dodged, the tricolored destructive light ball cut through the chaotic void like a meteor and bombarded him at an astonishing speed. Man and blade unite, split heaven and earth. Unable to dodge, the one-armed man, who smelled a strong sense of danger, roared and quickly fused with the bone-white long blade in his hand, slashing down. Ka. A series of thunderous booms resounded as the wrath of divine punishment was slashed apart by the one-armed man's blade. The earth-shattering power surged out in all directions like a tide, shaking the sky-like barrier violently. Pu. Deep in the center of the destructive energy, the one-armed man's body was immediately shattered. His body was heavily injured, and he could no longer suppress it. Like a kite with a broken string, he fell from the sky. His entire body was badly mutilated. Tell me, did you find any life spirits in this extremity of life? Where did your 2 companions go? The destructive storm gradually dissipated. Yi Chunfeng walked with heavy steps towards the one-armed man who was severely injured and had almost lost his ability to fight. He questioned without a trace of emotion. Who are you? Why do you know so much about this place? The one-armed man asked in despair. His eyes were dark and blood was trickling from the corner of his mouth. I'm the one asking you, not you. If you answer me obediently, I can give you a quick death. Otherwise, I will make you beg for death, Yi Chunfeng warned coldly. You don't have to do it. As he spoke, the one-armed man, who knew that there was no way out, was about to self-destruct. However, Yi Chunfeng's reaction was faster. Before he could self-destruct, the ancient cold mysterious ice surged into his body and forcibly froze all his meridians, not giving him a chance to self-destruct. In the next moment, Yi Chunfeng activated the soul-devouring art and devoured his spiritual beast amidst his terrified howls. Chaos, do you have a way to make him speak? Yi Chunfeng looked at the one-armed man who was pale, twitching, and on the verge of fainting. Simple, just search his soul. As he spoke, the Chaos Divine Beast opened his mouth and spat out a large amount of soul strands. They drilled directly into the one-armed man's head and performed a soul search on him, obtaining the information that Yi Chunfeng wanted to know. Level 8 Heavenly Beast, Golden-Furred Iron Ape. When Yi Chunfeng learned that the one-armed man and the others had encountered a suspected Level 8 Heavenly Beast, the golden-haired Iron Ape, and were being chased by it, his expression turned solemn. With Yi Chunfeng's current strength, although he could kill Level 5 Heavenly Beasts, facing a Level 8 Heavenly Beast that was equivalent to a Level 3 Combat Beast Emperor, there was no other way but to escape. Alright, Chaos, Senior Sister, protect me. I'll break this light screen restriction. As he spoke, Yi Chunfeng took away the one-armed man's belongings and sat cross-legged outside the light screen restriction. With the help of the God-Eater brain, he cracked the light screen restriction that the one-armed man had spent several days to break. The God-Eater brain had evolved by devouring the mysterious souls of the celestial domain. Its ability to deduce and break restrictions had become even more terrifying. In less than half an hour, the God-Eater brain had deduced the changes in the light screen restriction. Break! Yi Chunfeng roared. The God-Eater brain's power erupted instantly and tore a hole in the restriction. Let's go! With the opening in the restriction, Yi Chunfeng immediately led Fu Yue and the Divine Beast of Chaos through the restriction. They entered the light screen restriction and arrived at a spacious forest that was surrounded by clouds and mist. There were many treasures of heaven and earth growing there. It was like a celestial mountain in a sacred forest. Spirit of Life. The small tree in front was transformed by a spirit of life. Walking into the forest that was rich with vitality, towering ancient trees, and entwined ancient vines, the Divine Beast of Chaos that was floating in midair suddenly discovered a small tree that was more than a meter tall. It was milky white and had luxuriant leaves beside a quiet pool. Its eyes lit up as it devoured. Chaos, is there any trick to capturing a spirit of life? Yi Chunfeng did not approach the small tree blindly. Instead, he turned his head and asked the Divine Beast of Chaos that had lived for more than 100,000 years. Spirits of life are very agile. However, spiritual water and heavenly water are their nemesis. Don't you have a ball of spiritual water of heaven and earth? You just need to freeze it and forcefully erase its intelligence. Then, you can capture a spirit of life, said the Divine Beast of Chaos. Alright, wait for me here. I'll go and capture that spirit of life. Yi Chunfeng nodded and slowly approached the small tree that the spirit of life had transformed into. When he was 5 meters away from the spirit of life, it sensed danger and wanted to escape. However, Yi Chunfeng's reaction was faster. The cold air released by the ancient cold ice spewed out and bombarded the spirit of life at an extremely fast speed. It froze it forcefully. In the next moment, the power of the God-Eater brain surged into the spirit of life and forcefully erased its intelligence. Yi Chunfeng easily obtained a ball of spirit of life. What a rich life force! Chaos, is this spirit of life good for one's cultivation level? Feeling the vast vitality contained in the spirit of life, Yi Chunfeng felt that all the pores on his body had opened up. He asked, "This spirit of life is a sacred item for healing. It doesn't have much effect on raising one's cultivation level. However, if it's in the heaven domain, I think many people would be willing to exchange a great Tao pill for this spirit of life," said the Divine Beast of Chaos. "This spirit of life can be exchanged for a great Tao pill." Yi Chunfeng's eyes lit up. "Then we have to search for the spirit of life properly." The great Tao pill was a pill that only existed in the heaven domain. Only alchemists with extremely high attainments in alchemy could refine it. Every great Tao pill contained different Tao patterns. Hence, great Tao pills were usually unique. Let's go. Let's continue searching for the spirit of life. Yi Chunfeng struck out several formation patterns and sealed the spirit of life in a jade box. He continued to go deeper into this seemingly dangerous forest to search for the spirit of life in the depths of the forest. A month passed in the blink of an eye. After a month of searching, Yi Chunfeng and the others captured a total of 8 spirits of different forms in this lush forest. Just as they continued to search patiently, they discovered a huge waterfall in the depths of the forest. It was like the Milky Way had fallen to the ground. And under this waterfall, there was a perfectly intact skeleton that looked like crystal. And in front of the crystal skeleton, there was an incomparably sharp longsword that seemed to have the spirit of a dragon snake. When he saw the longsword in front of him, Yi Chunfeng's eyes instantly widened. A thought appeared in his mind: that's a high-grade heaven artifact. Chapter 372. Emperor Weapon, Flying Immortal Sword. There's something strange about that crystal skeleton. It seems like there's a powerful soul in it. The Chaos Divine Beast warned in a low voice as he stared at the crystal skeleton in the distance. I feel it too. Yi Chunfeng nodded and said, Hun Dun, protect senior sister Fu well. I'll take a closer look. With that, Yi Chunfeng held the gigantic fault heavenly sword tightly and slowly approached the crystal skeleton. Buzz, suddenly, a powerful soul energy surged out from the crystal skeleton and poured into the high-grade heavenly sword that was stabbed into the ground. Ear-piercing sword cries rang out, shaking Yi Chunfeng's eardrums to the point that they were about to explode. In the next moment, the high-tier heavenly sword, whose body was like a dragon coiling around a snake, seemed to have a life of its own. It rose from the ground and interweaved into streaks of mysterious sword gleams in midair, attacking Yi Chunfeng. Sword-based Tao pattern break. As the sword light flew over, Yi Chunfeng immediately swung his sword to meet it. The sharp sword-based Tao pattern swallowed the gigantic fault heavenly sword and clashed fiercely with the upper-grade heavenly sword's sword light. How mysterious! This is a sword technique. In the fierce battle with the upper-grade heavenly sword, Yi Chunfeng sensed that the upper-grade heavenly sword's attack was a mysterious sword technique. The two swords complemented each other and their power kept increasing. 8 Sha Azura Art, 4 Slaughter Styles. With his attack suppressed, Yi Chunfeng immediately activated the 8 Sha Azura Art and formed 5 killing halos. He used the 4 Slaughter Styles to counterattack. For a moment, the entire void was filled with wind and clouds. Thunder and lightning flashed. The two unstoppable sword techniques clashed fiercely in the air, forming a strong shockwave that tore the air apart. Hun Dun, will Chunfeng be in danger? Fu Yue, who was hiding far away, asked worriedly as she looked at Yi Chunfeng, who was fighting fiercely with the upper-grade heavenly sword. Don't worry, little beauty. That kid is tough. He'll be fine. The Chaos Divine Beast knew how heaven-defying Yi Chunfeng was and was not worried about him. Flame Dragon destroys the world. After executing the 4 slaughter moves, Yi Chunfeng was still unable to suppress the high-grade heaven sword. Immediately, he changed his attack pattern. Streaks of sword Tao patterns transformed into blazing fire dragons that incinerated the void and bombarded the high-grade heaven sword continuously. Flying Immortal Sword. The attack was suppressed by the fire dragon formed from the sword Tao pattern. Suddenly, a deep voice rang out from the high-grade heaven sword. In the next moment, the high-grade heaven sword turned into an extremely sharp streak of sword light, illuminating the entire space. With great momentum, it tore through the 4 fire dragons with lightning speed and slashed towards Yi Chunfeng. 7 Swords of Judgment, Extreme Cold. The 4 flaming dragons formed by the sword Tao pattern were torn apart. Yi Chunfeng immediately executed the 7 Swords of Judgment to counter the attack. 10 sword Tao patterns formed the extreme cold sword light and rushed forward. The 2 powerful attacks clashed for 2 breaths of time. The extreme cold sword light that contained the power of the great Tao was shattered by the sharp high-grade heaven sword that contained astonishing offensive power. Using the instant that the extreme cold sword light blocked, Yi Chunfeng executed his strongest move. The Sword Dao pattern and Thunder Dao pattern quickly fused together and formed a huge crescent sword arc in the void. From afar, it looked like a huge black moon had descended into the mortal realm. It was strange and terrifying. 7 swords of judgment, waning moon. Yi Chunfeng slashed with his sword. The waning moon sword light was released without restraint. It was extremely sharp and left a deep sword scar in the entire space. It slashed at the high-grade heaven sword that was thrusting over with unstoppable force. Boom! The 2 terrifying attacks clashed together and formed an astonishing destructive force. Large patches of the ground exploded. Countless rocks were turned into ashes and the entire space was distorted. Bang! The high-grade heaven sword withstood the waning moon sword light's attack for 5 breaths of time. The soul in the heaven sword couldn't withstand it and couldn't control the heaven sword's attack. It was sent flying by the powerful waning moon sword light and stabbed into the crystal skeleton. After waiting for so many years, I finally found a person who comprehended the Sword Dao. I can finally leave with peace of mind. The destructive storm in the void gradually dissipated. An aged soul emerged from the high-grade heaven sword. He looked at Yi Chunfeng and spoke with gratification. Senior, your soul didn't dissipate for so long because you wanted to find a new master for this sword? Yi Chunfeng asked in a low voice as he looked at the old soul that seemed to have 1 foot in the grave and could dissipate at any moment. That's right. I spent my entire life to refine this ruler weapon. Other than a swordsman who comprehended the Sword Dao, no one else is worthy to be its master. All right, Junior. Before my soul dissipates, I will give you another opportunity. Whether you can comprehend it or not will depend on your talent. After saying that, the aged soul took out the high-grade heaven sword and turned it into a sword. He performed the strongest sword move he had just used, the flying immortal sword. Junior, take good care of my ruler weapon. If there comes a day when you don't need it, remember to pass it on to the next swordsman. Don't let it be buried in the hands of someone who doesn't understand the Sword Dao. After slowly practicing the flying immortal sword, the old soul became even weaker as it slowly entrusted Lin Fan with the task. Senior, don't worry. This junior will definitely treat it well. Yi Chunfeng nodded and promised in front of everyone. Old friend, I'm leaving. I hope you will like your new master. The aged soul looked at the ruler weapon with reluctance. As it let out a soft wail, it slowly dissipated in the air. After the aged soul disappeared, Yi Chunfeng walked to the crystal skeleton and deeply bowed 3 times. Next to the beautiful waterfall, he dug a hole and buried the crystal skeleton. Then, he collected the high-grade heaven tool ruler weapon. From now on, you will travel the fighting spirit continent with me. After pulling out the ruler weapon, Yi Chunfeng immediately felt a blood connection with it. This made Yi Chunfeng feel that even if he had not broken through to the reverse Beast King realm, he could still unleash its true power. Senior sister, Chaos, I need to comprehend the sword move just now. Let's cultivate here for a few days. Although the aged soul had only performed the flying immortal sword once, Yi Chunfeng, who had the God-Eater brain, had completely memorized it. What? You memorized that sword move? The divine beast of chaos widened its eyes and floated in front of Yi Chunfeng. It looked at him as if he was looking at a monster. Even it had not completely memorized that sword move. Yes. Yi Chunfeng nodded and ignored the stunned divine beast of chaos. He quickly sat cross-legged on the ground and controlled the God-Eater brain to deduce. The flying immortal sword did not have a specific level, but its power was more terrifying than an ordinary low-grade Dao skill. Once Yi Chunfeng comprehended it, he would have another trump card. About 2 days later, Yi Chunfeng, who was sitting still like a rock, suddenly opened his starry eyes. 10 sword Dao patterns surged out of his body and turned into a sword light. It was like a flying sword that slashed at the waterfall in the distance. Boom! The Milky Way waterfall was directly cut off by the flying immortal sword, leaving behind a terrifying sword light that traversed the void. Qingfeng, you have mastered that sword move? Fu Yue was shocked when she saw the waterfall that was tens of thousands of meters long being cut off by the flying immortal sword. Yes. Yi Chunfeng nodded. Crazy. The divine beast of chaos, who was lying on the ground and refining the demon pill in the early stage and recovering from the soul injury, glanced at Yi Chunfeng and whispered, "Let's go. We will continue to search for the pole of life." After that, Yi Chunfeng led Fu Yue and the divine beast of chaos deeper into the lush forest to search for the pole of life. After about 3 days, they arrived at the core area of the pole of life and found another array restriction. When Yi Chunfeng used the power of the God-Eater brain to forcibly break open the array restriction, he accidentally found a mysterious stone tablet that was more than 3 meters tall. It was covered with mysterious ancient patterns and exuded an ancient aura. Mobile reading website, book address. To make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click Save at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 373. Life Tao Tablet, Condensed Spirit Bead, Tao Tablet. This is a Tao Tablet. Looking at the mysterious tablet in front of him, Yi Chunfeng immediately felt the Tao intent it emitted. To be precise, this is a Life Tao Tablet, containing the Tao intent of life. The Chaos Divine Beast stared at the 3-meter-tall mysterious Tao steel and continued, however, this Tao steel of life is without an owner. If you want to comprehend the Tao meaning of life it contains, you must first obtain its approval. Life Tao Tablet. Yi Chunfeng's eyes lit up and said, "Chaos, senior sister, wait for me here. I'll go take a look." As he spoke, Yi Chunfeng slowly walked towards the Life Tao Tablet. When he walked under the Life Tao Tablet, a large amount of white light suddenly poured out from the Life Tao Tablet. The ancient runes on the surface of the Tao Tablet seemed to come alive, releasing a white light that was more dazzling than the sun, enveloping Yi Chunfeng. A large amount of mysterious ancient runes were like a surging tide, crazily entering Yi Chunfeng's body. In the blink of an eye, Yi Chunfeng's strong body splashed out a large amount of blood. A large amount of blood flowed out of his body uncontrollably, dyeing him into a bloody man. What happened to Qingfeng? Fu Yue saw Yi Chunfeng become a bloody man in the blink of an eye, and her heart tightened as she nervously asked, "Don't be nervous. He is undergoing the test of the Life Tao Tablet. Only by passing the test can he comprehend the Tao intent of life." The knowledgeable Chaos Divine Beast comforted her. "What if he can't pass the test?" Fu Yue asked with a face of worry. He's so perverted." "Perverted, it shouldn't be." Thinking of the consequences of failure, the Chaos Divine Beast suddenly became worried. But when the Chaos Divine Beast thought of the Chaos Divine Wood that was parasitic in his heart meridians, his worried heart calmed down. With the terror of the Chaos Divine Wood, a mere Life Tao Tablet would not be able to harm his life. The flesh and blood of Yi Chunfeng's entire body exploded. The meridians in his body began to break as well. His well-tempered bones were now filled with cracks. His 2 arms hung limply as his entire body collapsed onto the ground. At this moment, Yi Chunfeng's entire body was covered in blood and flesh. It was as if his entire body had been crushed by gravity. Yi Chunfeng's physical body was severely injured, but his flames of life were burning brighter and brighter. The God-devouring brain's deduction speed was getting faster and faster, and it was accelerating the comprehension of the Life Tao steel into the Life Tao pattern in his body. The Tao will of life is indeed very mysterious. His physical body was damaged beyond recognition by the Life Tao pattern, but Yi Chunfeng's mind was extremely clear. Through the God-Eater brain's deduction of the Life Tao intent, he could feel the profundity of the Life Tao intent more and more, and he was completely immersed in the process of comprehension. Slowly, Yi Qinfeng's mangled body began to heal at an astonishing speed. His broken meridians and bones also began to heal. Alright, don't worry. I've already told you, he's a freak. A mere life Tao steel isn't a threat to his life. When the Chaos Divine Beast saw that Yi Qinfeng had basically passed the test of the life Tao steel, he was relieved and spoke slowly. Days passed by, and Yi Qinfeng sat cross-legged under the 3-meter-tall life Tao steel. He was immersed in comprehending the life Tao intent. As time passed, his comprehension of the life Tao intent grew deeper and deeper, and he slowly grasped the first life Tao pattern. Not long after he comprehended the first life Tao pattern, the God-devouring brain, which was rapidly deducing, quickly comprehended the second and third life Tao pattern. Just as Yi Qinfeng spent 12 days to comprehend the 9th Tao pattern of life, cracks suddenly appeared on the 3-meter-tall Tao steel of life, which had dim and lusterless ancient patterns on it. In the blink of an eye, the life Tao steel that contained the life Tao intent shattered and turned into white Tao intent runes. They surged into Yi Qinfeng's body like rivers flowing into the sea. The incomparably vast energy directly opened up Yi Qinfeng's body, causing his body to be filled with crack. A large amount of blood once again seeped out. F***ck. Could this life Tao steel have been tampered with? Otherwise, such an unforeseen event wouldn't have occurred. Looking at Yi Qinfeng's body that was forcefully opened up like a balloon, the Chaos Divine Beast immediately sensed that something was wrong. Chaos, do you have a way to help Qingfeng? Looking at Yi Qinfeng's pained appearance and his body that could explode at any time, Fu Yue's heart clenched and she nervously asked. There's no way, he can only rely on himself. The Chaos Divine Beast shook his head and said, Damn it, what kind of power is this? Feeling that the life Tao steel had shattered, and the energy that surged into his body had exceeded the limits of his body, Yi Qinfeng was burning with anxiety. He quickly thought of a way. If it weren't for the Chaos Divine would suppressing his body would have already exploded from the sudden impact of such a terrifying energy. Yi Qinfeng constantly controlled the Chaos Divine wood to suppress the energy. However, as the life Tao steel shattered, more and more energy entered his body. If he couldn't find another way to contain it, his body would explode sooner or later. That's right, the 9 transformations divine transformation. Perhaps I can refine this vast energy into the Shenmen acupoint and condense it into a spirit pearl. As he thought about it, Yi Qinfeng's mind flashed as he thought of the 9 transformations divine transformation. The power of Ling Tian divine transformation, spirit pearl. Yi Qinfeng took a deep breath and quickly activated the 9 transformations divine transformation. According to a very special method of condensing energy, he forcefully condensed the surging energy in his body into the Shenmen acupoint on his arm and condensed the first spirit pearl. Under the 9 transformations divine transformation circulation, the boundless energy in Yi Qinfeng's body seemed to have found a vent. It crazily surged into the Shenmen acupoint and quickly condensed a spirit pearl. Soon, Yi Qinfeng's body that had been opened up returned to normal. The crisis was resolved. Damn! Just how many secrets is he hiding? The Chaos Divine Beast felt that Yi Qinfeng was like a bottomless pit. It couldn't figure out how deep he was, and no danger could stop him. The 9 transformations divine transformation required a vast amount of energy, and the energy released by the life Tao steel just happened to provide a sufficient source of energy. As a large amount of energy surged into the Shenmen acupoint, a pearl-sized, sparkling and translucent pearl that contained extremely powerful spirit energy slowly condensed. Yi Qinfeng's strength was also rapidly increasing. 8 million gene of strength, 2 million gene of strength 8 million gene of strength, when Yi Qinfeng's physical strength reached an astonishing 5 million gene of strength, the first spirit pearl condensed in the Shenmen acupoint. Yi Qinfeng's physical body had broken the shackles of ordinary martial artists and became a half-spirit body. God-Eater Brain, devour the Life Tao pattern shards. The energy released by the Life Tao steel had disappeared. Yi Chunfeng discovered that a large amount of Tao pattern shards had appeared in his body, and he immediately controlled the God-Eater Brain to devour them. When all the Life Tao pattern shards in Yi Chunfeng's body were devoured by the God-Eater Brain, the 10th Life Tao pattern appeared in the God-Eater Brain. Success. The Life Tao intent is at the first level of heaven. After comprehending the 10th Life Tao pattern, Yi Chunfeng had successfully comprehended the Life Tao intent to the first level of heaven. Before the age of 25, he had comprehended 3 great Tao intents and even comprehended them to the first level of heaven. Yi Chunfeng had created a miracle that had never happened in the dueling soul continent before. In addition to the 1.5 million gene of strength, Yi Chunfeng felt that he could completely suppress a grade 4 defiant beast king expert. Just as Yi Chunfeng was immersed in the joy of the increase in strength, an extremely penetrating dragon roar suddenly echoed from the depths of the extreme of life. A flood dragon that was over 300 meters long, covered in thick dragon scales, and had a single horn flew over. Its terrifying aura locked onto Yi Chunfeng. Mobile reading website. Book address. In order to make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 374. The Pursuit of a Level 8 Heavenly Beast, a Level 8 Heavenly Beast, Flood Dragon. In the heart of the extreme point of life, there is actually a Level 8 Heavenly Beast. Yi Chunfeng's heart couldn't help but tremble when he saw the flood dragon twisting its huge body and flying rapidly towards him. With his current strength, he could easily defeat a Level 4 Defiant Beast King, but he was no match for a Level 8 Heavenly Beast Jiao Dragon, who had a thin true dragon bloodline flowing in his body, which was an existence that even a Level 4 Combat Beast Emperor would fear. And Yi Chunfeng guessed that the sudden appearance of this terrifying flood dragon was most likely due to the shattering of the Life Tao steel. Hundun, Senior Sister Fu, let's go. The horned dragon was getting closer and closer. Yi Chunfeng summoned the golden rock wings without hesitation and held Fu Yue in his arms. He flew out of the pole of life with the shocked divine beast of chaos. God-Eater Brain, break! Quickly escaping to the edge of the Life Tao steel, the power of the God-Eater Brain immediately erupted, forcibly tearing apart the restriction, and one man and one beast flew out. Not long after the man and the beast flew out of the restrictive spell, a huge explosion sounded. The furious one-horned flood dragon broke through the restrictive spell with its absolute strength and chased after Yi Chunfeng. Hundun, do you have any means to slow down the one-horned Jiao dragon's pursuit? Feeling that the one-horned Jiao dragon was getting closer and closer, Yi Chunfeng was burning with anxiety. I'll try my best, but when we get out, you'll have to give me some high-grade Yao cores as compensation, the Chaos Divine Beast said, gritting his teeth. Good. As long as we can escape, I will definitely compensate you. Yi Chunfeng agreed without hesitation. Soul ignition, roar of chaos. The divine beast of chaos gritted its teeth. It burned its soul, forcibly condensing a terrifying mouth, and let out a deafening roar at the single-horned flood dragon that was chasing after it. It roared at the single-horned flood dragon that was chasing after it. Roar, the terrifying sound shook the 9 heavens. The air was directly blown apart by this flowing sound, and the sky trembled. Although the Chaos Divine Beast was only left with its soul, and its power was far from the Level 8 Heavenly Beast Horned Flood Dragon, it was still a divine beast after all, and had the aura of a divine beast flowing in its bones. Facing the roaring attack of the Chaos Divine Beast, the Flood Dragon instinctively felt fear. This fear seeped into the deepest part of its soul, greatly slowing down the Flood Dragon's pursuit. Seizing this opportunity, Yi Chunfeng immediately let the weakened Chaos Divine Beast enter his body. He burned the golden rock bloodline to increase his speed and flew out of the pole of life with Fu Yue. Yin. Looking at Yi Chunfeng and the young man flying away, the one-horned flood dragon came back to its senses and let out an uncontrollable roar. It twisted its huge body, passed through the whirlwind, and continued to chase after Yi Chunfeng and the young man, determined to kill them. Damn it, this flood dragon is chasing us too closely. How can we get rid of it? Running away with Fu Yue, Yi Chunfeng's flying speed was greatly reduced. Soon, the one-horned flood dragon closed the distance between them again, bringing them a great threat. Once the one-horned flood dragon caught up with them, with its power that was even more terrifying than a level 4 combat beast emperor, Yi Chunfeng would not be able to fight back even if he used his life spirit technique. Just as Yi Chunfeng was anxiously thinking of a way to escape, his powerful soul suddenly sensed a terrifying aura in the depths of the forest. Level 8 Heavenly Beast, it's the Golden Iron Ape. All of a sudden, Yi Chunfeng remembered that there was a level 8 Heavenly Beast residing in the forest of the extreme of life. His eyes lit up, and he immediately thought of a way to escape. Quickly flapping his golden rock wings, he took the risk and flew towards the gold-furred Iron Ape's resting area. Very soon, he saw a golden-furred iron ape the size of a small hill through the gaps between ancient trees that were several hundred meters tall. Its entire body was covered in a thick layer of golden fur, and it was currently lying under a waterfall. It was loudly snoring and dreaming. Yi Chunfeng and the horned flood dragon quickly flew over, waking up the sleeping golden-haired iron ape. When it opened its bell-sized eyes and saw Yi Chunfeng and the horned flood dragon, its eyes turned blood red. It bared its several-meter-long fangs and roared at the empty air. Wind riding technique. Facing the golden iron ape's attack, Yi Chunfeng, whose blood and chi was boiling, immediately unleashed the extreme-level heavenly skill wind riding technique that he had learned in the Death Ridge. His entire body turned into a gust of wind, increasing his speed by 3 times in a very short time, forcefully breaking through the strong air currents and continuing to escape. Die, you little trash! When Yi Chunfeng flew past it with Fu Yue, the golden-haired iron ape's huge palm, which was filled with a few million pounds of strength, descended from the sky, wanting to smash them into minced meat. However, Yi Chunfeng's flying speed was just too fast, and he managed to dodge the golden iron ape's attack. The huge palm struck the ground viciously, causing several li of the ground to collapse as cracks spread out quickly. At this time, the one-horned flood dragon that was chasing after them flew over, but it was stopped by the furious golden-haired iron ape. The iron ape roared, "One-horned, how dare you come to my territory and disturb my sleep?" As it said that, the enraged golden iron ape opened its mouth wide, and a torrent of demonic energy surged out like a violent wave, smashing heavily onto the one-horned flood dragon's huge body, stopping it. "Iron ape, get out of my way quickly, don't let that little brat escape." The one-horned flood dragon opened its huge mouth and roared loudly, the aura from its body sweeping up a large area of air. "One-horned, you trespassed into my territory and still dare to be so arrogant. Looks like you wanna fight." The golden-furred steel ape ignored the one-horned flood dragon's warning and roared furiously, about to attack. "Iron ape, that little brat just now used some unknown method to shatter the central steel of the extremity of life. Now, the life chi in the core area of the extremity of life is starting to dissipate, and it will soon affect the entire extremity of life. When that happens, it will greatly affect our transformation speed." The one-horned flood dragon knew how terrifying the golden iron ape was, and it suppressed the anger in its heart and told it the truth. "What? The central steel has been shattered." Hearing the news, the golden iron ape was stunned. In the next moment, its blood-red eyes shot out a thick flame, and it gave a loud roar to the skies, flying up into the air to chase after Yi Chunfeng together with the one-horned flood dragon. However, Yi Chunfeng had already taken advantage of the opportunity when the golden iron ape was blocking the one-horned flood dragon, and he had already shaken them off. He quickly flew towards the light screen prohibition. About an hour later, Yi Chunfeng, who was flying at high speed, saw the light screen prohibition from afar. The one-horned flood dragon and the golden iron ape, who were furious and stamping with rage, caught up with him again and gradually closed the distance between them. Prohibition, open! The power of the God-Eater brain was fully unleashed, and it released a soul light beam, forcibly tearing a hole in the heavenly prohibition. Yi Chunfeng quickly flew out with Fu Yue. Not long after Yi Chunfeng and Fu Yue flew out of the heavenly prohibition, the heavenly prohibition was attacked by the furious one-horned flood dragon and the golden iron ape. Cracks spread across the surface of the heavenly prohibition like a spider web. When the one-horned flood dragon and the golden iron ape unleashed their absolute power and penetrated the heavenly prohibition, they found that Yi Chunfeng and Fu Yue had already disappeared. Despicable human, I'll kill you no matter where you go. The one-horned flood dragon let out an uncontrollable roar, and split up with the golden iron ape to chase after Yi Chunfeng. They were determined to kill him to vent their hatred. However, the polar regions of life and death were too big, and 2 level 8 heavenly beasts wanted to find Yi Chunfeng in the polar regions of life and death. No doubt it was like looking for a needle in a haystack. About 2 days later, Yi Chunfeng, who had been flying at high speed, successfully flew out of the polar regions of life and death, passed through the valley full of space cracks, and safely returned to the extreme ice snow forest. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button below to record this reading record, and you will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 375. Space Devourer Bug. North Sea City, the largest city in the North Sea state. It was also the largest trading hub in the North Sea state. Every day, a large number of rare treasures and spirit items would flow into the city through various channels. There were also countless martial artists entering and exiting the city to purchase treasures that they were interested in through the city's auctions and treasure pavilions. North Sea City, we have finally arrived. After leaving the extreme ice snow forest, Yi Chunfeng and Fu Yue took off their human skin masks and revealed their true appearance. After a few days of traveling, they finally arrived at North Sea City. Senior sister, what information do you want to buy from the Sky Pavilion? Following the bustling crowd, Yi Chunfeng and Fu Yue walked into the prosperous and bustling North Sea City. As they walked, Yi Chunfeng asked, I want to know where my family is in the North Sea state now? Fu Yue said softly. Senior sister, are you from the North Sea state? Yi Chunfeng asked. No, I am not from the North Sea state. I am from the Western continent. However, my family was destroyed by the Western Devil sect, and only a few people survived. Not long ago, I received news that third uncle and the rest came to the North Sea state. I want to find them. After experiencing life and death with Yi Chunfeng, Fu Yue had completely acknowledged Yi Chunfeng and trusted him completely. She did not hide anything from him and slowly said, It's fine. Western Devil sect? Yi Chunfeng did not expect Fu Yue's background to be so tragic. He frowned slightly and asked, Senior sister, how strong is this Western Devil sect? The Western Devil sect is a 7th rank sect. Their overall strength is much stronger than the Northern Spirit Region's number 1 sect, Misty Mountain. There is an Emperor-level master in the sect. When Fu Yue mentioned the Western Devil sect, her beautiful eyes could not help but reveal a fierce look. Senior sister, when I become an Emperor-level master one day, I will definitely avenge your Fu family and destroy the Western Devil sect. Yi Chunfeng sensed that Fu Yue's emotions were a little unstable and promised softly. Qingfeng, if you can really avenge the Fu clan, the entire Fu clan will acknowledge you as our master. After witnessing Yi Chunfeng's heaven-defying talent, Fu Yue completely believed that as long as he was given enough time, he would definitely be able to avenge her family. Senior sister, you're exaggerating. Yi Chunfeng smiled and said confidently, but I believe that day won't be too far away. As they spoke, Yi Chunfeng and Li Wuyo arrived at a dark gray building that was 3 stories tall. It gave off a mysterious and oppressive feeling. Skyspan Pavilion. This is the place. Let's go in. Looking up at the black signboard, Yi Chunfeng and Fu Yue stepped on the wooden stairs that exuded a faint sandalwood fragrance and slowly walked in. Skyspan Pavilion was the most mysterious pavilion in North Sea City. No one knew its background or origin, but it was the most well-informed place in the entire North Sea State. As long as something happened in the North Sea State, Skyspan Pavilion could find a way to investigate it, but the premise was that one had to pay Skyspan Pavilion a high price. What kind of information do you two want to buy? Yi Chunfeng and Yi Qingyu had just walked into the sky-reaching pavilion when a beautiful woman of the mystic beast ancestor realm walked out. She was dressed in a white lotus root qipao and had a plump figure. She sized them up and asked in a flat voice, "I want to inquire about the whereabouts of a few people." With that, Fu Yue took out an exquisite envelope and handed it to the woman. "Well, the people you want to find are not from the North Sea State?" Seeing the information on the few people that Fu Yue wanted to inquire about, the woman asked faintly. "Well, they should have just arrived in the North Sea State not long ago. I wonder if your pavilion can find their whereabouts?" Fu Yue nodded and said, "Yes, but it's more troublesome to find these people, so the price is higher. It costs a total of 50 million low-grade soul crystals." The woman said, "So expensive?" Fu Yue frowned slightly. She did not have so many low-grade soul crystals. "We'll buy this information. I wonder when your pavilion can give us the accurate information in a few days." Yi Chunfeng, who had more than 500 million low-grade soul crystals, asked. "The deposit is 10 million low-grade soul crystals. 7 days later, bring the remaining low-grade soul crystals to Skyspan Pavilion to get the information." The woman took a deep look at the generous Yi Chunfeng and said faintly, "Okay." Yi Chunfeng nodded and paid the deposit of 10 million low-grade soul crystals without hesitation. "By the way, there's one more thing I want to ask." After paying the deposit, Yi Chunfeng continued to ask, "Does your pavilion know where I can buy high-grade heavenly beast demonic cores and formation stones? This information is not expensive. It only costs 1 million low-grade soul crystals. Pay the soul crystals and I'll answer you directly." The woman said, "Okay." With that, Yi Chunfeng took out another 1 million low-grade soul crystals to pay for the information. 2 days later, there will be a private trade fair in North Sea City. There will be high-grade demonic cores for trade. Here are 2 trading badges. Take the badges and you can enter the private trade fair to trade. The woman gave the 2 exquisite trading badges to Yi Chunfeng and Fu Yue and told them the location of the trade. "Thank you." After receiving the badges, Yi Chunfeng and Fu Yue did not linger. They left the oppressive Skyspan Pavilion and went to rest in an elegant inn with good scenery. Yi Chunfeng and Fu Yue stayed in 2 luxurious rooms. Yi Chunfeng took out the universe ring that the one-armed man had obtained after killing the Ice Emperor. He broke the seal on the ring and released his soul power into it. As expected, the Ice Emperor did not leave behind anything. Yi Chunfeng sighed softly. Apart from the Ice Emperor's low-grade heaven-grade frostblade, there was nothing valuable. However, the one-armed man's yin-yang ring gave Yi Chunfeng a big harvest. The low-grade heaven-grade withered white blade, the top-grade heaven-grade deathly silent blade, the high-grade heaven-grade frost palm, 8 top-grade earth-grade soul crystals, 38,000 high-grade soul crystals, 10 million mid-grade soul crystals, 1 heaven-grade soul pill, and 32 earth-grade soul pills. And these are insect eggs. At the end of the inspection, Yi Chunfeng found thousands of mysterious insect eggs in the one-armed man's yin-yang ring. He thought of the insect eggs that he had sealed in the jade box and used the water of life to hatch them. He took out the jade box with the runes on it. I wonder if the insect eggs have hatched? Yi Chunfeng removed the restriction on the jade box and opened it. He saw an insect that was as thick as a thumb. It was completely black and had a round mouth full of teeth. It was swallowing the other insect eggs. What kind of insect is this? Yi Chunfeng looked at the ferocious-looking insect and muttered to himself. At this moment, the divine beast of chaos emerged from his body. Looking at the thumb-sized black bug, he exclaimed, "Holy sh*T! You hatched a space swallower. Boss, you are so lucky." Chaos, is there anything special about this space swallower? Looking at the surprised look of the chaos divine beast, Yi Chunfeng felt that this space swallower was not simple and asked. This space swallower is one of the ancient strange insects. Its body has a space of its own, and it has the ability to swallow space restrictions and travel across space. It is said that the space wormhole that runs through the universe is related to this space swallower. This space swallower is so powerful. Yi Chunfeng raised his eyebrows and asked in surprise. Of course, if this space swallower reaches maturity, it can swallow space directly and open up a space wormhole. Then you can travel through space at will. The Chaos Divine Beast said. Chaos, do you have a way to help me tame this space swallower? Yi Chunfeng asked. This space swallower has just hatched and it is still very weak. You just need to nourish it with your blood. After 49 days, it will be able to establish a close relationship with you, the Chaos Divine Beast said. Okay. Yi Chunfeng nodded. Without hesitation, he bit his finger and dripped enough blood into the jade box. Then, he placed the 1,000-odd eggs he had just obtained into the jade box for the space-swallowing bugs to devour them. After doing all this, Yi Chunfeng formed the formation again and sealed the jade box. He kept it in his ring of heaven and earth and started to cultivate while waiting for the private auction in 2 days. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 376. Private trade fair. Early in the morning, a thin layer of rose-colored sunrise appeared in the east. The dazzling colors made people feel relaxed and happy. After 2 days of quiet cultivation, Yi Chunfeng had refined the one-armed man's spiritual beast, and his strength had improved a little. However, he needed too much energy to break through to the reverse beast king realm. It was hundreds of times more difficult than ordinary people. It would be difficult for him to make a breakthrough in a short period of time. Chaos, do you have a way to help me break the shell of this egg? Yi Chunfeng took out the dragon egg, summoned the Chaos Divine Beast, and asked, Dragon Chi? Is this a dragon egg? You actually have such a good thing. Sensing the looming dragon chi in the dragon egg, the Chaos Divine Beast's eyes widened. It was glowing with a scorching light as it said covetously, Yes, this is a dragon egg. However, its shell is too hard. Even the chaos energy can't break it. Do you have a good way to break this dragon egg? If you can help me break it, I will give you 1/5 of the essence of the dragon egg. Damn, only 1/5? You are too stingy. The Chaos Divine Beast curled its lips and said unhappily, Cut the crap. Do you have a way or not? Yi Chunfeng said snappily, This dragon egg is the egg of a divine beast. Moreover, this dragon egg has existed for a long time. Its surface has already crystallized. With my current strength, I can't break it. You can only hope to break it by relying on the chaos energy. The Chaos Divine Beast pondered for a moment and said, Then how many strands of chaos energy do you think can break this dragon egg? Yi Chunfeng frowned slightly and asked, Well, at least 10 strands of chaos energy. The Chaos Divine Beast said, 10 strands. Sigh, it seems like my dream of breaking through to the reverse Beast King realm in a short period of time will not be realized. Yi Chunfeng sighed softly and said regretfully, He kept the precious dragon egg in his universe ring. Let's go to the private trade fair. I will buy you a demon pill. Yi Chunfeng put on a human skin mask and met up with Fu Yue, who was in disguise but could not hide her hot body. They headed to the private trade fair. Chui Ke Pavilion, this is it. Yi Chunfeng and Shi Yan followed the directions given by the plump woman and arrived at the east side of Sea Breeze City. They saw a small lakeside building with people entering and leaving from time to time. They slowly walked over. Seeing the badges on Yi Chunfeng's chest, the guards guarding the entrance of Chui Ke Pavilion did not stop them and allowed them to enter. Formation. There is a killing formation hidden in this Jade Fault Pavilion. Walking into the pavilion, Yi Chunfeng's powerful soul immediately sensed the power of the runes. These runes were powerful enough to kill a normal king. What a huge trading hall! Walking along the long corridor, Yi Chunfeng arrived at the Chui Ke Pavilion. From afar, he saw a richly ornamented and very spacious trading hall. An endless stream of martial artists shuttled back and forth in the hall, looking for their desired trading targets. There's actually a level 6 Heavenly Beast Core for sale. Just as Yi Chunfeng and Shi Yan entered the noisy hall, they immediately discovered that there were people trading beast cores and walked over. Can you let me see this level 6 Heavenly Beast Core? Yi Chunfeng walked over to a tall and sturdy level 6 Mystic Beast ancestor. His arms were filled with explosive muscles, and his veins were wriggling like earthworms. Sure. The tall and sturdy man raised his head slightly and looked at Yi Chunfeng's disguised face. He said expressionlessly, what do you want to exchange this beast core for? Yi Chunfeng released his soul to examine it carefully, and found that the level 6 Heavenly Beast Core was undamaged. This beast core was obtained by a narrow escape. I want to exchange it for a high-grade Heaven-class soul skill or 2 Heaven-class soul pills. The tall and sturdy man said. Okay, I'll exchange it with you, Yi Chunfeng said happily. He took out the extreme snow palm cultivation scroll he obtained from killing the one-armed man and handed it to the tall and sturdy man. This is the Ice Palace's extreme snow palm. How did you get it? The tall and sturdy man quickly browsed through the extreme snow palm cultivation scroll, and his expression changed slightly. He looked at Yi Chunfeng with a very different expression. His exclamation attracted a lot of attention from the surrounding people. I'll exchange this extreme snow palm for your level 6 Heavenly Beast Core. Do you want to exchange it? Yi Chunfeng didn't answer his question, and asked indifferently. Exchange, of course I'll exchange it. The tall and sturdy man knew the power of the extreme snow palm. If he could comprehend it, his attacking power would increase by several times. Wait. Just as the tall and sturdy man was about to exchange it with Yi Chunfeng, a low voice rang out. 2 Ice Palace's experts, who were wearing white martial arts robes and emitting a cold aura, appeared. What's the matter? Yi Chunfeng glanced at the 2 Ice Palace's experts from the corner of his eye and asked coldly. Brat, I realize that you have guts. You stole our Ice Palace's legacy heavenly skill and still dare to exchange it in public. Looks like you don't have any respect for our Ice Palace. The slightly taller Ice Palace's expert, who was hugging a snakeskin sword, said arrogantly. Please, if you want to frame me, you better find a better reason. With your Ice Palace's legacy heavenly skill, do you think you're worthy of me stealing it? Yi Chunfeng sneered and said disdainfully. You're courting death. The 2 Ice Palace's experts didn't expect Yi Chunfeng to be so daring to humiliate the Ice Palace in public. Their faces darkened, and their eyes were filled with killing intent. The 3 of you, the Jade Fault Pavilion prohibits fighting. Please give me some face for eye. In the midst of the tense atmosphere, a white-haired old man suddenly appeared in the market, speaking in a deep voice. Absolute King. Sensing the white-haired old man's strength, a level 1 reverse beast king, Yi Chunfeng smiled faintly. Ignoring the 2 Ice Palace's experts, He handed the extreme snow palm cultivation scroll to the burly man, exchanging it for a level 6 heavenly beast core. Brat, just you wait. If you have the guts, stay here and never leave. Sensing the white-haired old man's strength, and thinking of the rules here, the two enraged Ice Palace's experts did not dare to act rashly. Suppressing the anger in their hearts, they gave Yi Chunfeng a fierce warning before turning to leave. If you don't want anything to happen to you, leave quickly. Otherwise, when the Ice Palace's experts arrive, you won't be able to leave. After the two Ice Palace's experts left in anger, the white-haired old man looked meaningfully at the calm Yi Chunfeng, giving him a kind reminder. Thank you for the reminder. However, since I dared to use the Ice Palace's legacy heavenly skill for the exchange, I'm naturally not afraid of their revenge. Yi Chunfeng smiled faintly, saying fearlessly. He continued to stay in the trading hall with Fu Yue, exchanging what he needed. Yi Chunfeng had killed too many peerless kings, and he had a large amount of precious treasures and inheritances. In more than 2 hours, he had obtained 5 heavenly beast demon cores and a large amount of alchemy materials. He had also helped Fu Yue obtain 3 bottles of antidote for single poison, as well as 2 heavenly spirit cores. Seeing Yi Chunfeng's extravagant trading, many people secretly guessed his identity. There were also many who had their eyes on him and Fu Yue. After the trading, Yi Chunfeng and Fu Yue, who had gained a lot, left the private trading hall and returned to the inn they had rented. In the process of returning to the inn, Yi Chunfeng's powerful soul spirit sensed that many people were secretly following them, including the two Ice Palace's experts who had left in anger. However, to Yi Chunfeng's surprise, the two Ice Palace's experts did not take revenge immediately. Brat, I'll let you live for a few more days. When my Ice Palace's experts come, I'll make you beg for death. Seeing Yi Chunfeng and Fu Yue walk into the inn, the two Ice Palace's experts' eyes flashed fiercely, as if they already had Yi Chunfeng's life and death in their hands. However, they did not know that their every move was under Yi Chunfeng's soul spirit's perception. From the beginning to the end, Yi Chunfeng did not take them seriously at all. Who would have thought that this private trading hall would actually allow me to gather all the materials needed to refine the 9 Heavens 8 trigrams formation? I'll use the remaining 5 days to refine this formation. Yi Chunfeng took out the half-completed formation that he had obtained from killing Xingluo Sky City's Shawuhai, as well as the materials he had just obtained from the private trading hall. He was prepared to refine the formation to further increase his strength. Request for monthly votes mobile reading website. Book address. To make it easier for you to read next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 377. The 9th Heaven 8 Trigrams formation was one of the ancient formations. It was extremely powerful. When fully activated, it could borrow the power of heaven and earth to kill a peerless beast tamer. It was extremely difficult to refine the 9th Heaven 8 Trigrams formation. Even with Sha Wuhai's strength as a grade 5 beast tamer, he only managed to refine half of it after more than 10 years. But coincidentally, the God-Eater brain had the method to refine the 9th Heaven 8 Trigrams formation. In addition, he had gathered all the materials and had the help of the Black Flame Heavenly Fire. He was confident that he could complete the 9th Heaven 8 Trigrams formation. Days passed. Large amounts of materials were melted by the Black Flame Heavenly Fire into the half-finished formation. The formation slowly formed the 8 Trigrams formation. It's done. After spending 3 days to fuse more than 80 kinds of refining materials into the array diagram, the 9 Heavens 8 Trigrams array finally took shape. However, this was only the first step. If he wanted to complete the 9 Heavens 8 Trigrams array, he still needed to condense 999 offensive array patterns. Forming offensive array patterns was the most difficult part of refining the 9th Heaven 8 Trigrams formation. The slightest mistake could result in failure. Huff! Yi Chunfeng took a deep breath and swallowed the life force water in his mouth. He instantly recovered the soul power that he had expended. Using the power of the God-Eater brain, he started to condense offensive array patterns and increase the power of the array diagram. After nearly 7 days, Yi Chunfeng finally formed 999 offensive array patterns with the help of the God-Eater brain. He successfully refined the 9th Heaven 8 trigrams formation. In these 7 days, Fu Yue successfully refined a Heaven-class soul pill with her strong perseverance. Her strength increased and she broke through to Grade 2 Mystic Beast Grandmaster. She also had a deeper understanding of the Ice Palace's top inheritance, the Icebound Saber technique. Huff! I finally succeeded. Yi Chunfeng, who had exhausted a lot of his soul power, let out a long sigh. He looked at the 9th Heaven 8 trigrams formation that had shrunk to the size of a palm. The 8 trigrams formation flowed and contained terrifying power. He revealed a faint smile. With the help of this 9th Heaven 8 trigrams formation, I should be able to kill a Grade 5 Beast Tamer King. People of the Ice Palace, have you been waiting for too long? Yi Chunfeng's lips curled up. He said coldly, I will give you a surprise soon and send you to hell. We're here. Is there any news about the people we're looking for? Once the 7 days were up, Yi Chunfeng and Fu Yue, who were wearing human skin masks, arrived at Sky-Reaching Pavilion. They found the plump, beautiful woman who had received them before and asked, I've found them. If you pay the rest of the commission, I'll tell you where they are. The plump woman nodded and said, Here are 40 million low-grade soul crystals. You can count them. Yi Chunfeng handed a heavy Qiankuan pouch to the plump woman. The woman took the Qiankuan bag and quickly counted it. After confirming that the number was correct, a rare smile appeared on her cold face and she said, The people you're looking for were last seen in the barren swamp in the easternmost part of the North Sea state. But their situation isn't good as they're being chased by 2 major forces. He could lose his life at any time. Who are they being hunted down by? Fu Yue's expression changed as she quickly asked. This information is beyond the scope of what you just bought. You'll need to pay a commission. The woman said slowly. How many low-grade soul crystals does this information cost? Yi Chunfeng frowned and asked. 50 million low-grade soul crystals. The plump woman said as she stretched out 5 slender white fingers. So expensive? Fu Yue frowned and said. She was hesitant to spend this money. Originally, this information wasn't expensive. But the 2 major forces are too scary. Sky-Reaching Pavilion sold this information to you, which is equivalent to offending them. So, from this perspective, 50 million is not expensive. The woman explained, As for whether you want to buy it or not, that's your problem. Okay, 50 million low-grade soul crystals. We'll buy this information. Yi Chunfeng took out a heavy Qiankuan pouch and handed it to the woman. Young master is really generous. The woman quickly checked the second Qiankuan pouch that Yi Chunfeng handed over. After confirming that it was indeed 50 million low-grade soul crystals, she revealed a faint smile and said, According to our Sky-Reaching Pavilion's investigation, the people you're looking for are being hunted down by the Ice Palace's experts. The other mysterious force is suspected to be the West Devil Sect's expert. As for why the Ice Palace abandoned the Misty Mountain and secretly cooperated with the West Devil Sect, we didn't dare to investigate too deeply. Why? Is the relationship between the West Devil Sect and the Misty Mountain very tense? Yi Chunfeng asked after hearing the meaning behind the woman's words. It's more than just tense. The West Devil Sect has already clashed with the Misty Mountain several times. In the most serious one, the 2 sects even mobilized their Grand Elders and fought until the sky turned dark. The woman, who was in a good mood, said, If I want to buy evidence of the West Devil Sect colluding with the Ice Palace, can your Sky-Reaching Pavilion get it? Yi Chunfeng pondered for a moment and said, This. The woman's expression was startled. She looked at Yi Chunfeng and hesitated for a moment before saying, "This matter involves too many things and is too dangerous. I have to report it first before I can answer you." "Okay, I'll wait for you." Yi Chunfeng nodded and said, "Qingfeng, why do you want to buy evidence of their collusion?" Fu Yue didn't know that Yi Chunfeng and Shui Piaoling knew each other, and their relationship was even more unclear. Yi Chunfeng was going to the Misty Mountain in the first place, so she asked in confusion. "I have a feeling that the collusion between the Ice Palace and the Western Devil Sect is not a simple matter. It could very well involve a huge scheme," Yi Chunfeng vaguely explained. After half an incense stick's worth of time, the woman returned and said, "My sky-reaching pavilion can think of a way to help you get evidence of the West Devil Sect colluding with the Ice Palace. However, the difficulty of this task is too high. You have to pay us 200 million low-grade soul crystals as commission, and it must be paid in full." "That's not a problem. However, how confident is your sky-reaching pavilion to get this evidence?" Yi Chunfeng asked in a rich and overbearing manner. 80%. The woman said, "If the task fails, we will refund you 2/3 of the commission." "Okay, deal." After saying that, Yi Chunfeng directly handed over 200 million low-grade soul crystals to the plump woman. Seeing how generous he was, the plump woman couldn't help but look at him in a higher light. "Sir, come to my sky-reaching pavilion in 15 days. Regardless of success or failure, my sky-reaching pavilion will give you an explanation." The woman said, "Many thanks." With that, Yi Chunfeng and Fu Yue did not stay any longer and left the sky-reaching pavilion. "Let's go. After we deal with those flies outside the city, we will go to the desolate swamp," Yi Chunfeng suggested. Fu Yue, who was burning with anxiety, nodded and followed Yi Chunfeng out of North Sea City. Just as Yi Chunfeng and Fu Yue were leaving the city, the Ice Palace's spies hidden in North Sea City discovered their whereabouts and immediately spread the news outside the city. "Damn it, they are finally willing to leave the city." The two Ice Palace experts who had a conflict with Yi Chunfeng before exchanged glances when they heard the news. Instantly, their expressions turned ferocious. "When you attack later, remember not to kill them. I want to find out from them how they got the extreme snow palm cultivation scroll." A level 1 Defiant Beast King Elder, who was wearing a white robe with cloud patterns, with snow-white hair and a beard. His eyes were sunken into his cheeks, emitting a ferocious light. "Don't worry, 7th Elder. If I don't let him have a taste of my methods, how can I bear to let him die so easily?" The Ice Palace expert who harbored hatred in his heart said fiercely, as if Yi Chunfeng was already a fish on the chopping board, waiting to be slaughtered. Just as they were thinking of ways to torture Yi Chunfeng brought Fu Yue out of the city and headed straight for the forest where they were hiding. For mobile users, please visit Chapter 378. Kacha Kacha. Heavy footsteps sounded, breaking the silence of the mountain forest. Yi Chunfeng, who had a calm expression, and Fu Yue, who was dressed in a black martial arts suit and had a sexy figure, walked into the mountain forest outside the city. She looked like a dark elf. Haha, this is really a case of not taking the path to heaven but barging into hell. Several experts from the Ice Palace, who had been lying in ambush for a long time, were overjoyed when they saw Yi Chunfeng and the other person actually walking into the forest of their own accord. It was as if they were already in the bag. "All right, stop hiding. Come out, all of you." Just as they were preparing to launch a sneak attack, a clanging voice rang out like thunder, exploding in their ears. "What, did he discover us?" Hearing Yi Chunfeng's domineering voice, the Ice Palace experts were shocked, revealing looks of disbelief as a terrifying thought appeared in their minds. "Why don't you dare to come out? Are the Ice Palace people so cowardly?" Yi Chunfeng's lips curled up slightly, and a cold smile appeared on his face as he said disdainfully, "Brat, you are indeed daring, very arrogant." The Ice Palace's 7th Elder, who was a level 1 Beast King, let out a shout and jumped out of the bushes. His fierce eyes were filled with killing intent as he stared at Yi Chunfeng. "Brat, you won't be able to escape today." The Ice Palace experts who had been lying in ambush followed closely behind the seventh elder, leaping out from the bushes and surrounding Yi Chunfeng. The tall Ice Palace expert who had clashed with Yi Chunfeng previously said fiercely, "You are all so naive and cute." Looking at the Ice Palace experts who were filled with killing intent, Yi Chunfeng shook his head. In his heart, he had already given them the death sentence. "Brat, let me ask you, where did you get our Ice Palace's heavenly skill, the extreme snow palm?" The seventh elder asked coldly. "That trashy heavenly skill, I got it from killing your Ice Palace experts," Yi Chunfeng said honestly. "However, that trash extreme snow palm is already dead, and I don't even want to keep it. Only you guys would treat it like a treasure." "Brat, you're courting death." The Ice Palace's seventh elder had not expected Yi Chunfeng to be so arrogant, and the fury in his heart was completely unleashed. His billowing killing intent was like a surging tide, causing the air to tremble as it blasted toward Yi Chunfeng. "What? You don't believe me?" Yi Chunfeng stood motionless like a rock in the face of the seventh elder's terrifying murderous aura. "Very soon, you will know whether or not I have deceived you." As he spoke, Yi Chunfeng's aura changed. A physical strength that suffocated the seventh elder and the others erupted like a volcano, dispersing the surging killing intent. Boom! Yi Chunfeng took a step forward. The air in front of him was compressed and immediately scattered in all directions, leaving a clear footprint on the ground. Boom! Yi Chunfeng took a second step, and then a third, causing the ground to tremble violently. Seeing Yi Chunfeng walking over step by step, other than the seventh elder, the other Ice Palace and Mystic Beast sect experts felt as if a huge mountain was pressing down on their chests. It became difficult to breathe, and large amounts of cold sweat appeared on their foreheads. How is this possible? He is clearly only a level 6 Mystic Beast ancestor. Why is his aura so terrifying? Feeling Yi Chunfeng's aura getting stronger and stronger, the Ice Palace's seventh elder also felt suffocated. His expression changed, and he no longer dared to underestimate Yi Chunfeng. "Today, I'll use you guys to test the power of the 9 Heavens 8 Trigrams formation that I just refined." As he spoke, the 9 Heavens 8 Trigrams formation that had shrunk to the size of a palm slowly appeared. 999 offensive array patterns filled the air, forming the 8 Trigrams formation, enveloping all the Ice Palace experts within. "Wait!" Feeling the killing intent from the 9 Heavens 8 Trigrams formation, the Ice Palace's seventh elder's heart trembled as he quickly shouted, "Why? Do you have any last words?" Yi Chunfeng looked at the seventh elder, whose expression had changed drastically, and said without a trace of emotion, "Today's matter is the Ice Palace's fault. I hope that you can give the Ice Palace some face and let us leave. I promise that I won't find trouble with you in the future." The Ice Palace's seventh elder took a deep breath, suppressed the uneasiness in his heart, and said softly, "What if I don't agree?" Yi Chunfeng's lips curled up slightly as he looked at the seventh elder and the others who had fallen into panic, and asked in a mocking manner, "Do you really want to fight to the death with the Ice Palace?" The seventh elder knew that his strength was no longer enough to intimidate Yi Chunfeng. He could only use the Ice Palace to pressure Yi Chunfeng and seek a chance of survival. As for the 2 Ice Palace experts who had been fantasizing about torturing Yi Chunfeng, they were so scared that their faces turned pale. Their legs went soft, and their bodies began to tremble uncontrollably. "You are not the first person from the Ice Palace that I have killed, and you will not be the last. If the Ice Palace wants to fight to the death, I will accompany you at any time," Yi Chunfeng replied domineeringly. His hands moved quickly as he activated the 9 Heavens 8 Trigrams formation. Instantly, the 8 Trigrams formation surged with a vast amount of destructive power. It was like an 8 Trigrams formation, overlapping and attacking the Ice Palace experts. The terrifying power made the entire void feel like it was collapsing. Extreme Snow Palm. Icicle Break. Three-Cone Ice Sword. Feeling the power of the nine heavens' 8 trigrams formation, the seventh elder and the others' faces changed. They all merged with their spiritual beasts and used the Ice Palace's inherited heaven skills to counterattack. They wanted to work together to tear the nine heavens' 8 trigrams formation apart and escape. Unfortunately, the nine heavens' 8 trigrams formation was too terrifying. Even a grade 5 reverse beast king would find it difficult to resist, let alone them. Boom, the heavenly skill that the seventh elder and the others had unleashed had been shattered, and the layers of 8 trigrams formation continued to descend without slowing down, directly crushing all the Ice Palace experts except for the seventh elder into minced meat, and the entire ground caved in. PFFF. Although the seventh elder managed to escape with his strength, his arms were broken by the falling 8 trigrams formation. His body was severely injured, and the blood that flowed out of his body dyed him red. Blood Essence Ignition. Although he was severely injured, the Ice Palace's seventh elder didn't beg for mercy. Instead, he burned all the blood essence in his body to increase his strength. He wanted to launch a final attack before he died. Nine Heavens 8 trigrams formation suppress. As the seventh elder burned all his blood essence, the nine heavens 8 trigrams formation formed a powerful spatial pressure under Yi Qinfeng's control. It was like a towering mountain that pressed down on the seventh elder's severely injured body. Half of his body was pressed into the collapsed ground, unable to move. Hun Dun, search his soul. See if he knows about the Ice Palace colluding with the West Demon Sect. After suppressing the Ice Palace's seventh elder, Yi Qinfeng immediately summoned the Chaos Divine Beast and asked it to search the seventh elder's soul. Damn it, this old man is a hooligan. Other than women, he doesn't have any valuable information. What bad luck. After the soul search, the Chaos Divine Beast cursed. Looks like not many people know about the Ice Palace colluding with the West Demon Sect. I wonder if the Sky-Reaching Court has any way to get evidence of their collusion. Yi Qinfeng frowned slightly as he mumbled to himself. Soul Eater Incantation, Devour. After thinking for a while, Yi Qinfeng activated the Soul Eater Incantation and devoured the seventh elder's spiritual beast. He took the Ice Palace's experts' belongings and put the nine heavens 8 trigrams formation into his universe ring. Senior sister, let's go to the desolate swamp. Yi Qinfeng summoned the golden rock wings and hugged Fu Yue's soft body in his arms. He spread his wings and flew into the air, flying toward the desolate swamp at an extremely fast speed. Originally, /bk/hl/30/30709/ mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click on the save button at the bottom to record your reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 379. Desert Swamp. The Desert Swamp was located in the eastern region of the North Sea state. It covered a vast area and was a forbidden area for humans. Even the Xian beast sex elites did not dare to enter. The reason why the desert swamp was called a forbidden area was because the swamp was covered in fog all year round. It was difficult to tell the direction. There were many demonic beasts living in the depths of the swamp. There were even level 4 heavenly beasts that were comparable to legendary kings. It was extremely dangerous. After a few days of traveling, Yi Qinfeng and Fu Yue, who were in disguise, arrived at a simple town outside the desert swamp, Heavenly Desert Town. Senior sister, have you contacted your third uncle and the rest? Yi Qinfeng looked at the worried Fu Yue and asked softly as they walked on the small path of Heavenly Desert Town. Sigh, I don't know if third uncle and the rest have been caught. I still can't contact them. Fu Yue sighed softly and said worriedly. Don't worry, it's not easy to catch people in the desert swamp. Let's go to Heavenly Desert Town and take a look. Maybe we can find something, Yi Chunfeng suggested softly. As they walked, Yi Chunfeng's powerful soul suddenly sensed 3 Xian beast sect elites in a thatched restaurant not far ahead. He immediately walked over with Fu Yue. Damn it, this desert swamp is too dangerous. If we didn't run fast enough, we would have been dead by now. A man in a black martial arts suit, with thick hair all over his body, a beard on his face, and an obvious scar on his chest, drank a large bowl of wine and cursed. Yeah, if things continue like this, we might have died in the mouths of demonic beasts before we find them. But do we have a choice? In order to kill those people, even the Great Elder and the Great Guardian are here. If they know that we are hiding here and not looking for them, we might end up worse. Sigh, let's not talk about it. Let's drink. Today, the 3 of us will drink until we are satisfied. We will go to the desert swamp to find them. The bearded man drank another big bowl of wine and said in a muffled voice, Brother Qin, look, there's a hot chick walking towards us. While the 3 of them were gulping down wine and eating meat, a skinny man looked through the window and suddenly saw Fu Yue walking towards them. Although Fu Yue was wearing a human skin mask that hid her stunning face, it could not hide her hot and enchanting figure. Especially Fu Yue's long and slender legs, which were full of elasticity, were like poison that ate away at their hearts. Haha, us 3 brothers are in luck today. We won't have to worry about being lonely at night. The bearded man put down the wine cup in his hand. His eyes were burning with flames as he said excitedly, Brothers, what are you waiting for? Don't let that girl run away. After saying that, the 3 of them excitedly left the thatched restaurant and went outside. However, the moment they walked out of the thatched restaurant, a dense and terrifying killing intent locked onto them, making them feel as if they were being stared at by a demonic beast. All the hairs on their bodies stood on end, and a chill ran down their spines from head to toe. You guys really are from the Ice Palace. Seeing the 3 of them wearing the martial arts robes that symbolized their identity from the Ice Palace, Yi Chunfeng's lips curled up slightly, revealing a cold smile as he said slowly, Who are you guys? Feeling the killing intent from Yi Chunfeng, the flames in their hearts were instantly extinguished. The bearded man said with some fear, Primal chaos, search their souls. Yi Chunfeng did not waste time talking nonsense with them. He controlled the ancient cold profound ice to freeze their bodies and ordered the primal chaos divine beast to search their souls. After about half an incense stick's time, the primal chaos divine beast retrieved the soul strands that had seeped into their souls and said, The 3 of them do not have a high position in the Ice Palace, so they don't know about the Ice Palace and the West Devil sect secretly colluding. However, we can be sure that the little beauty's 3rd uncle has not been captured. The people from the Ice Palace are still capturing people in the desolate swamp. It's good that they haven't been captured. Yi Chunfeng nodded and came in front of the frozen trio. No, don't kill me. Please don't kill me. Looking at Yi Chunfeng's cold eyes, the bearded man and the other 2 were terrified. They kept begging for mercy, begging Yi Chunfeng to spare their lives. You guys don't have the right to beg me. With that, Yi Chunfeng activated the soul-devouring incantation and devoured their spirit beast. He smashed their heads and ended their lives. As expected, they have a map on them. After killing the 3 of them, Yi Chunfeng quickly looted their belongings. He found a map of the desolate swamp's periphery in one of their universe rings. Let's go. We'll go to the desolate swamp to save them. Yi Chunfeng memorized the map of the desolate swamp's periphery in his mind. He summoned the golden rock wings and brought Fu Yue to the desolate swamp that was shrouded in thick fog. After flying into the desolate swamp, Yi Chunfeng heard ferocious and hair-raising beast roars coming from the depths of the swamp. Many demon beasts lurking in the swamp noticed them and quickly approached them. However, when the ferocious demon beasts sensed the divine beast of chaos's aura, they instinctively felt fear. They were so scared that they did not dare to approach and turned to flee. Under the divine beast of chaos's aura, Yi Chenfeng brought Fu Yue through layers of fog and quickly flew into the depths of the desolate swamp. However, the desolate swamp was too vast. Coupled with the fog in the air, it was extremely difficult to find someone here. Just as Yi Chenfeng released his powerful soul to conduct a carpet search, the soul he released sensed something unusual. Ear-piercing sounds of friction in the air were approaching them at an extremely fast speed. Through the fog, Yi Chenfeng saw many finger-sized insects with sharp, sword-like mouths, crimson bodies, and thin wings. They covered the entire sky and covered the earth as they flew over. Not good, it's a swarm of bloodthirsty mosquitoes. Looking at the rapidly approaching crimson insects, Yi Chenfeng's expression changed slightly. He immediately recognized that these were one of the most dangerous demon insects in the desolate swamp, bloodthirsty mosquitoes. Although one bloodthirsty mosquito was not a threat to Yi Chenfeng and Fu Yue, there were millions of them in front of them. Even with Yi Chenfeng's powerful strength, he still felt his hair stand on end. Whoosh! The golden rock's wings flapped rapidly. Yi Chenfeng turned into a golden light in midair and quickly fled with Fu Yue. It took them more than 4 hours to shake off the pursuit of the bloodthirsty mosquitoes. Awoo! Yi Chenfeng and Fu Yue had just shaken off the pursuit of the bloodthirsty mosquitoes when an angry beast roar sounded, causing the fog in the distance to churn violently. A level 4 heavenly beast and 2 absolute kings. Yi Chenfeng raised his eyebrows slightly. He released his soul power and discovered that a level 4 heavenly beast had appeared in the distance. With the aura of 2 absolute kings, he did not hesitate to fly over with Fu Yue. Indeed, it is 2 ice palace experts. After flying closer, Yi Chenfeng saw a white wolf that was over 8 meters long and covered in white fur. It had a pair of wings and a single horn on its forehead. It was currently engaged in an intense battle with 2 king-level warriors of the Ice Palace. Although the Ice Palace experts had the advantage in numbers, the white wolf in front of them was an ancient beast species. Its strength was even more terrifying than an ordinary level 2 beast king. Its ferocious attacks completely suppressed the attacks of the 2, causing them to be in a precarious situation. Just as the 2's situation was getting more and more dangerous, and they could die at any moment in the bloody mouth of the white wolf, they suddenly noticed Yi Chenfeng and Fu Yue flying over quickly. They were overjoyed as they saw a glimmer of hope. They resisted the ferocious attacks of the white wolf and quickly approached them. They wanted to use Yi Chenfeng and Fu Yue to attract the attention of the white wolf and escape. Mobile reading website, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 380. Hong. As the 2 peerless kings of the Ice Palace neared Yi Chenfeng, Yi Chenfeng's eyes suddenly turned sharp, and the killing intent from the blood and bones gushed out from his body, smashing into the 2 of them. Feeling the terrifying killing intent from Yi Chenfeng, the 2 peerless kings felt their hearts skip a beat, as if they were being stared at by the god of death, and their bodies trembled involuntarily. As for the one-horned white wolf that was chasing relentlessly, it also felt a strong sense of danger from Yi Chenfeng's killing intent. It suddenly stopped in its tracks and looked at him vigilantly, not daring to approach him rashly. "Why aren't you running any more?" Yi Chenfeng looked coldly at the 2 peerless kings of the Ice Palace as he asked coldly. "We are the elders of the Ice Palace. Please give face to the Ice Palace and work together with us to kill that unicorn white wolf. Once we succeed, we will definitely reward you handsomely." The 2 Ice Palace experts who had been heavily injured and drained felt that Yi Chenfeng was not a simple person, and they quickly changed their plan, bringing out their status and background. "There is no need for that. As long as you answer a few of my questions obediently, I might be in a good mood and leave your corpses intact." Yi Chunfeng said mockingly. What arrogance! In the North Sea region, no one dares to disrespect our ice palace. The two peerless kings' faces changed slightly, and they said angrily out of humiliation. As they spoke, the unicorn white wolf that had sensed danger suddenly gave up on its prey, flapping its wings to turn tail and flee. Hun Dun, I'll leave that white wolf to you. As the unicorn white wolf was fleeing, Yi Chunfeng summoned the Chaos Divine Beast. Simple! The Chaos Divine Beast roared, and it turned into a streak of light, blocking the unicorn white wolf's path, and they began fighting in midair. Although the unicorn white wolf was an ancient desolate beast, and its attacks were terrifying, the Chaos Divine Beast had the power of a level 6 heavenly beast, and its ferocious attacks completely suppressed the unicorn white wolf. In just 10 breaths, the unicorn white wolf's huge body was torn apart by the Chaos Divine Beast, its blood and demonic core devoured by the Chaos Divine Beast. Go! Witnessing the scene of the one-horned white wolf being torn apart by the Chaos Divine Beast with their own eyes, the two absolute kings' expressions changed drastically as they made a prompt decision to flee. Do you think you can escape? Yi Chunfeng's body flashed slightly as he stood before the two kings and said coldly, Scram! At the critical moment, the two absolute kings stimulated their body's potential and their thin soul beast bloodline. They executed the Ice Palace's inherited heaven skills to attack Yi Chunfeng, trying to force him to retreat and escape. Soul-suppressing tablet. Yi Chunfeng's eyes narrowed and he quickly threw out 2 punches. 2 huge hands holding onto the soul-suppressing monument appeared out of nowhere, bringing with it a powerful destructive force, shattering the heavenly skills of the two peerless kings. Lion King's roar. Following that, Yi Chunfeng's upper body rapidly expanded, and the rolling sound waves quickly converged into a ferocious lion's head. It let out an earth-shattering lion's roar, shattering layers of air and bombarding the two of them at close range. PFFF. PFFF. Under the attack of the Lion King's roar, the defenses of the two supreme kings immediately shattered. The two of them were like kites with their strings cut, fiercely smashing into the ground. A large amount of blood flowed out from their bodies. Who exactly are you? Seeing Yi Chunfeng's shocking attack, the two absolute kings were horrified as they asked fearfully. Chaos Divine Beast, search their souls. Yi Chunfeng ignored the two of them and ordered the Chaos Divine Beast to search their souls. Search their souls. Hearing Yi Chunfeng's words, the two's faces changed drastically as they exclaimed, Hold on, we don't think we have offended you. Why are you attacking us so ruthlessly? Furthermore, in this desolate swamp, apart from the two of us, there are many experts from the Ice Palace, including the Ice Palace's Grand Elder and Great Guardian. If you hurt us, I guarantee that the Grand Elder and Great Guardian will not let you go. Is that so? Yi Chunfeng revealed a faint smile and said, Then make a guess. Why do you think we came all the way here for? Hearing Yi Chunfeng's words, the two absolute kings' faces changed drastically as a terrifying thought flashed through their minds. Right at this moment, their communication pearls suddenly lit up, allowing them to see a glimmer of hope. They hurriedly took out their communication pearls, wanting to ask for help. However, Yi Chunfeng's reaction was faster. The power of the ancient cold mystic ice gushed out of his body and bombarded the two of them, instantly freezing them. Chaos, do you have a way to control the consciousness of one of them? Yi Chunfeng asked. I should be able to, but my current strength is limited. I can only control them for 1 minute at most, said the Chaos Divine Beast. 1 minute is enough. Yi Chunfeng nodded and said, Soul-driving technique. The Chaos Divine Beast opened its bloody mouth as a large amount of soul strands drilled into one of the Absolute King's heads. It performed its inherited ability and forcefully controlled the Absolute King's soul. Then, Yi Chunfeng removed the ice seal and allowed him to open the communication pearl to listen to the content of the message. Everyone, listen up. Head to the Black Wind Valley in the northwest of the desert swamp immediately. Those people are hiding in the Black Wind Valley now. Don't let them escape. A deep voice rang out from the communication pearl as it gave an order that was not to be disobeyed. Black Wind Valley. Chaos, search their souls and find out where the Black Wind Valley is. After knowing the location of Fu Yue's third uncle and the others, Yi Chunfeng immediately urged. Alright. The Chaos Divine Beast nodded and began to search their souls. He found out the location of the Black Wind Valley from their soul memories. Let's go. The two of them were of no value. Yi Chunfeng immediately activated the soul-devouring art and devoured their spiritual beast. He then led the anxious Fu Yue to the Black Wind Valley. At the same time, an intense battle was happening in the Black Wind Valley, one of the most dangerous places in the desert swamp. Fu Yue's third uncle was tall and straight. His sideburns were slightly white and there were obvious wounds on his chest. Fu Qingshan, who was holding a long spear, was fighting a bloody battle with several experts from the Ice Palace and the West Devil Sect. Although Fu Qingshan relied on his strength as a level 4 Defiant Beast King and 4 Peerless Kings from the Fu clan to fight equally with the experts from the two forces, as time passed, more and more experts rushed to the Black Wind Valley, increasing the pressure on them. Qingshan, the four of us will cover you. Leave this place quickly. As long as you and Yue are alive, the Fu clan will have a chance to take revenge. If you die, everything will be over. A level 3 Defiant Beast King Elder from the Fu clan with white hair and injuries all over his body urged with a serious expression. That's right. The third Elder is right. You are the last hope of our Fu clan. Even if the four of us die, nothing can happen to you. Don't worry about me. Hurry up and leave this place. It'll be too late if you're late, another expert of the Fu clan urged anxiously. No, I can't abandon you all. If we leave together. Fu Qingshan, who was the strongest of the five, said firmly. He burned his Azure Sky Rock bloodline at all costs and forcefully increased his strength. This was the last fight. Qingshan, didn't you hear what I said just now? The four of us can die, but nothing can happen to you. If anything happens to you, who will take revenge for the Fu clan? At this time, you can't act on loyalty. The Fu clan's third elder, who was bathed in blood, scolded sternly. But, no buts. Leave quickly. The Fu clan's third elder roared loudly as veins popped out on his forehead. You want to leave? That's not so easy. Just as Fu Qingshan gritted his teeth and chose to break out of the encirclement, a furious roar rang out. The Ice Palace's great elder, who had forced Yi Chunfeng to the brink of death, and two black-robed experts from the Western Devil Sect appeared. Their appearance made the situation worse for Fu Qingshan and the others, cutting off Fu Qingshan's chance to break out and leave. Mobile reading site, book address. In order to make it easier for you to read next time, you can click Save at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 381. Fu Qingshan, we meet again. He wore a black robe with golden edges and a pair of snakeskin boots. His figure was tall and straight, and his deep eyes emitted a cold light. He was a level 5 Beast King from the Western Devil Sect. He slowly flapped his soul wings and looked down at Fu Qingshan, who was covered in blood. Mo Hun, I didn't expect you to collude with the Ice Palace. Looks like the Western Demon Sect is going to fight the Misty Mountain. Fu Qingshan looked at Mo Hun and the others with a serious expression. If he was in his peak condition, Fu Qingshan would not be afraid of Mo Hun. But now, Fu Qingshan was heavily injured, and his soul power was obviously depleted. Adding on the fact that there were experts from the Ice Palace eyeing him covetously, he was unable to fight them alone. My Western Demon Sect will become a rank 8 holy land and stand at the peak of the Duhan continent. A mere misty mountain will naturally submit to us, but unfortunately you won't live to see that day. Mo Hun's eyes flashed with killing intent as he spoke with ambition. Qingshan, how confident are you in breaking out now? Fu Clan's third elder asked anxiously as he looked at Mo Hun, who was filled with killing intent. Not even 10%. Fu Qingshan replied solemnly, but it won't be that easy for them to kill us. As he spoke, Fu Qingshan took out a formation diagram that was overflowing with light and contained a large number of formation runes, enveloping them within. The 100 crystals primal chaos diagram. Qingshan, you repaired it. Seeing the array diagram that shrouded them, Fu Qingshan and the others were overjoyed. The 100 crystals primal chaos diagram was an important treasure of the Fu clan in the past. Its defense was terrifying. Without the strength of an emperor, it was impossible to break it. Fu Qingshan and the others had relied on it to escape from the Western demon sect's expert. No, this 100 crystal primal chaos picture is too heavily damaged. Even with my ability, I can only repair 1/10 of it. However, it should be able to withstand their attacks for 6 hours. That should be enough for us to recover a portion of our injuries. Fu Qingshan took a deep breath and slowly said, "Okay, we'll fight them in 6 hours. Even if we die, I will drag a few of them down with us." The Fu family's third elder and the others, who had no way out, nodded. They made use of the limited time they had to quickly recover from their injuries and expended soul power. The 100 crystals primordial chaos diagram. I didn't expect them to be able to repair this treasure. Looking at the 100 crystal primal chaos diagram that enveloped Fu Qingshan and the others, Mo Hun's expression instantly turned gloomy. He coldly ordered, "Experts of the West Devil Sect, heed my orders. Attack with all your might. Break this diagram and kill Fu Qingshan and the others." "Yes, fifth elder." The experts of the Western Devil Sect obeyed and fused with their respective spiritual beasts, unleashing their soul skills to attack the 100 crystals primal chaos diagram. Boom boom boom, while the experts from the Western Devil Sect were attacking, the experts from the Ice Palace were also attacking. In an instant, the surface of the 100 crystals primordial origin diagram was filled with intense explosions. Waves of terrifying energy swept out in all directions, causing the air to churn violently. "Elder Hun, what kind of formation is this? Its defensive power is so terrifying." After gathering everyone's strength and attacking fiercely for more than 2 hours, they were still unable to break through the 100 crystal primeval chaos diagram. This caused the Ice Palace's great elder to reveal a look of deep shock. This 100 crystal primal chaos diagram was one of the treasures of the Fu clan in the past. It's a defensive formation diagram. However, no matter how strong the defense is, it won't be able to save them. "If we can break through it, we can break through it," Mo Hun said with a cold expression. He was holding a 9-foot 9-inch dragonhead broadsword. His long black hair danced in the wind, and his entire body was covered in devilish light. "Yes, no matter what price we have to pay, these people must die. Otherwise, once the secret of our alliance is exposed, the Misty Mountain will know about it and our Ice Palace will be in danger. Your plan will also be ruined." The Ice Palace's great elder nodded and ordered the experts from the Ice Palace to increase the intensity of their attacks. Under the ferocious attacks of the experts from the two factions, cracks appeared on the surface of the 100 crystal primal chaos diagram and continued to spread in all directions. As expected, this 100 crystal primal chaos diagram hasn't been completely repaired. Its defensive power isn't at its peak. Mo Hun was overjoyed when he saw the cracks on the surface of the 100 crystal primal chaos diagram. Billowing devilish chi surged into the dragon-head broadsword. Streaks of broadsword light overlapped with each other and slashed down, accelerating the destruction of the 100 crystal primal chaos diagram. "Everyone, get ready. The 100 crystal primal chaos diagram is about to break. We're going to break out." Fu Qingshan, who had consumed a heaven-level soul pellet to suppress his injuries, hurriedly reminded everyone when he sensed that the 100 crystal primal chaos diagram was about to shatter. Qingshan, don't worry about us when you break out. If you can break out, we can die in peace. The Fu clan's third elder and the others said as they prepared to burn their lifespan for the final fight. Okay. Fu Qingshan nodded heavily and said with gritted teeth. Time passed slowly. After another hour, the 100 crystal primal chaos diagram finally couldn't withstand the attacks of the experts from the two factions and shattered. Go! The moment the 100 crystal primeval origin painting shattered, Fu Qingshan and the others all ignited their qi and blood, activating the power of the Azure Sky Peng bloodline, increasing their strength to the greatest extent. Like 5 arrows leaving the bow, they shot straight into the sky, wanting to tear apart the encirclement of the two forces and kill their way out. Where do you think you're going? Mo Hun roared, and a huge shadow of a demonic bat appeared on his body. The dragon-head saber in his hand surged with endless demonic qi, tearing through the air and slashing at Fu Qingshan and the others. Exploding demonic saber. With one slash, the air in Black Wind Valley was completely turbulent. The terrifying saber aura gave Fu Qingshan and the others a great danger. Sky-piercing spear. Sensing that Mo Hun's exploding demonic saber had locked onto him, Fu Qingshan didn't dodge. Instead, he held the low-grade heaven-level Azure Sky spear and faced it head-on. The sharp spear light turned into a silver flood dragon baring its fangs and brandishing its claws. It roared into the sky and left a deep spear mark in the chaotic void. The moment the two soul skills clashed, a terrifying energy storm surged, and the entire space became chaotic. Although Fu Qingshan was a level lower than Mo Hun, he was the peerless genius of the Fu clan. He had the strength to kill an enemy above his level. In addition, he burned his vitality at all costs to unleash an even more terrifying attack. It directly broke the exploding demonic saber and forced Mo Hun back. Sky-shattering icicle strike. The moment Mo Hun was forced back by Fu Qingshan, the Ice Palace's Grand Elder made his move. Thousands of icicles surged out of his body, piercing through the turbulent air and bombarding Fu Qingshan. After a series of explosions, Fu Qingshan was forced back by the Ice Palace's Grand Elder. The vitality in his body churned violently. Fu Qingshan failed to break out of the encirclement. The West Devil Sect and Ice Palace's experts launched attacks one after another. The ferocious attacks completely suppressed Fu Qingshan and the others, not giving them any chance to break out. Qingshan, get ready. Wait for us to self-destruct and tear apart their defense line. Then, use all your strength to break out of the encirclement and leave. The Fu clan's third elder, who was covered in blood, took a deep breath and transmitted a message to Fu Qingshan. He was prepared to die. Third elder, you, remember what I said? You are the Fu clan's last hope. We can die, but you can't. The Fu clan's third elder transmitted a message sternly. Third elder, I swear that I will make the West Devil Sect disappear from the Duhan continent within 100 years. Fu Qingshan suppressed the pain in his heart and swore. Good, good, good. We believe in you. The third elder and the others said with relief. They were about to rush toward the experts from the two major powers and self-destruct to launch the final attack to open a way for Fu Qingshan to live. At this moment, an ear-piercing sound pierced the air. Following that, a familiar voice entered Fu Qingshan and the others' ears. When they heard this voice, Fu Qingshan and the others' expressions changed drastically. They hurriedly looked at the entrance of Black Wind Valley. When they saw a beautiful figure rushing over, their hearts sank. They never thought that when they were on the verge of death, the Fu clan's last bloodline, Fu Yue, would appear. For mobile users, please visit Chapter 382. Yu, why is it Yu? Why is she here? Does the heavens want to destroy our Fu clan? Seeing Fu Yue in Black Wind Valley, Fu clan's third elder and the rest turned pale, their hearts filled with despair. Yu, it's too dangerous here. Leave quickly. Fu Qingshan, who was burning with anxiety, shouted with all his strength. Haha, since you're here, stay with us. When Mo Hun saw the sudden appearance of Yi Chenfeng and Fu Yue, he was pleasantly surprised. He threw his head back and laughed. However, when the Ice Palace's great elder beside him saw Yi Chenfeng and Fu Yue, he was stunned. His eyes widened, revealing a look of disbelief. Go, catch the two of them. Don't let them escape, Mo Hun ordered loudly. Hearing Mo Hun's order, the West Devil Sect's unparalleled king who was closest to Yi Chenfeng revealed a ferocious expression. In a flash, he appeared in front of Yi Chenfeng and was about to capture the two of them. 9 Transformations God Change. When the West Devil Sect's unparalleled king got close, Yi Chenfeng immediately activated the 9 Transformations God Change and activated the condensed spirit pearl in his God's Gate meridian. 3 million pounds of strength exploded in his arm as an unparalleled fist radiance flew out. Boom! Wherever the fist light passed, the air would explode as the chi flow surged. The boundless fist light directly broke through the defense of the West Devil Sect's peerless king, sending him flying. His entire chest sunk into his body as a large amount of blood and fragments of his internal organs sprayed out from his mouth. Soul-suppressing tablet. The moment the West Devil Sect's unparalleled king was sent flying with one punch, Yi Chenfeng quickly took another step forward and blasted out the huge hand that was holding the soul-suppressing tablet. A long fist radiance was dragged in mid-air as it ruthlessly bombarded the unparalleled king's body. Violent and ferocious energy crazily surged into his body. Boom! The unparalleled king who was untouchable and untouchable in the hearts of ordinary people exploded with one punch from Yi Chenfeng. He turned into a cloud of blood in mid-air and died. Witnessing the scene of Yi Chenfeng blowing apart a king with one punch, not only were Mo Hun and the others stunned, but even Fu Qingshan and the others, who were in despair, were dumbfounded. What kind of monster did you find? Fu Qingshan looked at Yi Chenfeng in shock. A glimmer of hope appeared in his heart. Brat, it's really you guys. You guys actually managed to come out alive from the extreme death. The instant Yi Chenfeng made his move, the Ice Palace's great elder was completely certain that he was the one who had been forced into a corner by him. Ever since the Death's Pole had existed, no matter how monstrous a person was, they had not been able to leave that place alive. However, Yi Chenfeng and Fu Yue, who were not very strong, had broken this curse. The Ice Palace's great elder could not accept this fact. You think a mere Death's Pole can trap us to death? Yi Chenfeng coldly smiled and said, It is your Ice Palace that has broadened my horizons. You actually dared to secretly work with the Western Devil Sect. Say, if I were to announce this matter to the world, would your Ice Palace be destroyed by Misty Mountain? Hearing Yi Chenfeng's words, the Ice Palace's great elder's expression changed. He said viciously, Do you think I will give you this chance? Since I dared to come, I am naturally not afraid of you guys. Hun Dun, sword puppet, come out. Looking into the Ice Palace's great elder's cold eyes, Yi Chenfeng was not afraid at all. He summoned the Chaos Divine Beast, sword puppet. Hun Dun, tear apart their line of defense. Yi Chenfeng ordered loudly. That's easy. Small fries, the Lord Hun Dun is here. If you don't want to die, scram. The Chaos Divine Beast roared arrogantly. Its huge body sped up, crushing the space and making a buzzing sound. With a powerful impact, it charged towards Mo Hun and the others. This aura, this beast soul has the strength of a level 6 heavenly beast. Feeling the terrifying aura of the Chaos Divine Beast, Mo Hun's expression changed. He immediately wielded his dragon head sword and slashed out streaks of black sword shadows, trying to force it back. Roar! Under the attack of the overlapping sword shadows, the Chaos Divine Beast opened its mouth and let out an earth-shattering roar. Like a surging tide, it slammed heavily on the sword shadows, shattering Mo Hun's attack and forcing the Chaos Divine Beast to retreat. "Bastard, go to hell!" Seeing Mo Hun retreat, the Chaos Divine Beast continued to attack without slowing down. Streaks of earth-shattering roars bombarded Mo Hun's body, causing his blood to churn violently. A stream of blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. "Senior sister, ask your third uncle and the others to leave quickly. I will take care of the rear," Yi Chunfeng urged when he saw that the Chaos Divine Beast had completely suppressed Mo Hun, who was the strongest among them. "Qingfeng, be careful." Fu Yuwen knew that with her current strength, she would not be of much help. She bit her alluring red lips and said, "Don't worry, they can't kill me." Yi Chunfeng nodded and said confidently, "Third uncle, it's not easy to stay here. Let's leave first." Fu Yue shouted at Fu Qingshan and the others who were fighting fiercely. "You want to leave? It's not that easy." The Ice Palace Great Elder knew what would happen if he allowed Yi Chunfeng, Fu Qingshan and the others to leave. He tried his best to stop Fu Qingshan and the others. Double-headed Blood Dragon King fuse. Yi Chunfeng saw that Fu Qingshan and the others were in danger and fused with the double-headed Blood Dragon King's power without hesitation, raising his strength to a Class 2 Defiant Beast King. Following that, Yi Chunfeng performed the 8 Sha Azura technique and formed 5 slaughter halos in an instant, greatly increasing his offensive strength. His strength had increased tremendously. Sword-type and lightning-type Dao patterns appeared on his body and formed a lightning-type vortex around him. The terrifying power of the Great Dao directly crushed the soul skills of the two powerful experts. 7 Swords of Judgment, Lightning Devour, Yi Chunfeng shouted. The lightning vortex quickly gathered and turned into a huge lightning sword. It slashed through the void and slashed towards the Class 4 Defiant Beast King of the Ice Palace Great Elder. Oh no! Sensing how terrifying Yi Chunfeng's attack was, the Ice Palace Great Elder's expression changed. He immediately used the Icicle Sky-Crushing Strike to defend himself. Boom boom boom! As the two soul skills clashed, gusts and gusts of wild wind were stirred up in mid-air and swept in all directions. Many experts from the two major forces who couldn't dodge in time were caught in the gusts of wind. Among them, many experts from the Mystic Beast sect were crushed by the recoil from the distorted space. They died in the destructive storm. PFFF. The Ice Palace's Great Elder felt a jolt in his chest as he clashed head-on with the attack of the two great Dao wills of the Great Thunder Sword. Yi Chunfeng wasn't in a good state either. Fortunately, the heavenly lightning battle armor dissipated most of the attack. He was only slightly injured. At this moment, the sword puppet was like a meat grinder. It charged towards the experts from the two major forces and started to kill them. What are you waiting for? Leave this place quickly. I'll take care of the rear. Yi Chunfeng took in a deep breath and suppressed the surging blood in his body. He shouted at Fu Qingshan and the rest. Let's go. The situation was critical. Fu Qingshan shouted and took the lead, bringing the wounded Third Elder and the others to the entrance of Black Wind Valley at an extremely fast speed. Chaos Holy Beast, Sword Puppet, return. When Fu Qingshan and the others broke out of the encirclement, Yi Chunfeng immediately summoned the Chaos Divine Beast that suppressed Mo Hun and the Sword Spirit Puppet back. At the next moment, the black heavenly flames, ancient cold mysterious ice, and ancient extreme purple thunder gushed out from his body, quickly gathering into a 3-colored destructive light sphere. It distorted the space and blasted out toward the Ice Palace's Great Elder and the others. Divine Punishment's Fury. An earth-shattering explosion sounded in mid-air. Destructive energy spread from mid-air and engulfed Mo Hun, the Ice Palace Great Elder and the rest. At the same time, the Black Wind Valley collapsed. Let's go. When the Divine Punishment's fury exploded, Yi Chunfeng flew to Fu Yue's side and hugged her. He brought Fu Qingshan and the rest out of the desolate swamp. For mobile users, please visit Chapter 383. Fu Qingshan, you guys actually have a way to break out of the encirclement. You've really impressed me. Not long after Yi Chunfeng and the rest broke out of the encirclement, a cold aura suddenly appeared. An old man in a black robe, with white hair and an aquiline nose, and a burly middle-aged man with fiery red hair appeared and stopped them. Mo Lihai, I didn't expect you to come as well. Fu Qingshan looked at the top 3 protectors of the West Devil sect and said with a serious expression, "Are you going to surrender or do you want me to do it?" Mo Lihai said arrogantly, "You want to kill me? Let's see if you have the ability." Fu Qingshan said with a strong fighting spirit, "Looks like you guys won't cry until you see the coffin." Mo Lihai's eyes narrowed and merged with his spirit beast to attack. However, at this moment, the red-haired man beside Mo Lihai noticed Yi Chunfeng and Fu Yue. Like the great elder of the Ice Palace, he looked as if he had seen a ghost. He cried out in surprise, "Why is it you guys, Hongxian, what's wrong? Do you know them?" Mo Lihai frowned and asked in a low voice when he saw the red-haired man lose his composure. "The 2 of them were forced to the brink of death by us, but now they've come out alive." The red-haired man couldn't hide the shock in his heart and explained simply, "The brink of death? It's the place where even emperors can't come out." Mo Lihai had obviously heard of the brink of death, and his expression changed slightly. "That's right, it's that place. These 2 are not simple." The red-haired man nodded and said, "Leave them to me. You guys quickly break out of the encirclement. We'll meet outside the desolate swamp." Yi Chunfeng quickly threw Fu Yue to Fu Qingshan and urged loudly while the red-haired man and the red-haired man were communicating. "Let me stay and help you," Fu Qingshan suggested as he was worried about Yi Chunfeng's safety. "No need. I have my ways to deal with them. You guys leave quickly or you'll distract me." Yi Chunfeng shook his head and insisted. "All right, then we'll wait for you outside the desolate swamp." Fu Qingshan glanced at Yi Chunfeng, who had a cold expression on his face. Thinking of the fact that he had a 6th-level heavenly beast spirit to protect him, he nodded and was about to lead Fu Yue and the others to break out of the encirclement. "Where are you going?" Just as Fu Qingshan and the others were about to break out of the encirclement, Mo Lihai snapped back to his senses and let out a roar. He took out a dark green spear, a low-grade heaven-tier spear, and thrust it forward with unstoppable force, wanting to stop them from leaving. "Chaos Divine Beast, I'll leave him to you." When Mo Lihai attacked, Yi Chunfeng quickly stood in front of Fu Qingshan and summoned the Chaos Divine Beast, ordering it to attack the black-robed man with all its might. Roar! The Chaos Divine Beast let out an explosive roar. A large amount of soul light sprayed out from its bloody mouth and heavily bombarded Mo Lihai's long spear. The powerful force forcibly forced him to retreat. Deathly Stillness Blade. When the Chaos Divine Beast blocked Mo Lihai's ferocious attack, the red-haired man also made his move. He held a fiery red battle sword in his hand and slashed out a ghastly white blade light that made people despair. He slashed it at Yi Chunfeng. He wanted to kill Yi Chunfeng and obtain the big secret on him. Wind Riding Technique. Yi Chunfeng's pupils constricted. A hurricane was emitted from his body, instantly increasing his flying speed. His body flashed, drawing a horizontal wind shadow, dodging the deathly silent blade that the red-haired man had slashed out and closing in on him. Lion King's Roar. Following that, a powerful lion's roar erupted from his mouth and bombarded the body of the red-haired man who could not dodge in time. Buzz! After being attacked by the Lion King's roar, the red-haired man's body trembled. The terrifying sound wave broke through his defense and injured his body. A mouthful of blood spurted out from his mouth. Great Sun Heavenly Fire Fist. When the red-haired man was injured, Yi Chunfeng continued to launch a fierce attack. The spirit pearl in his Shinmen acupoint exploded with 3 million Jin of strength. The black heavenly fire instantly covered his right fist. He blasted out a black sun with a black tail of fire. With an insufferably arrogant posture, He ruthlessly bombarded the red-haired man, whose expression changed drastically. 10,000 flowing cloud palm. Feeling the terrifying power of the great sun heavenly fire fist, the red-haired man ignored the injuries on his body and stacked both his palms together. A frenzied air current surged out like 10,000 elephants galloping forward. Boom! The moment the great sun heavenly fire fist and the 10,000 flowing cloud palm collided, a dense air current surged out. After 3 breaths of time, the low-grade Tao technique Great Sun Heavenly Fire Fist that contained 3 million Jin of strength shattered the 10,000 flowing cloud palm and ruthlessly bombarded the red-haired man. Puff! Taking the low-grade Tao technique Great Sun Heavenly Fire Fist head-on, the red-haired man's clothes suddenly burst open. A mouthful of blood spurted out from his mouth. His body was like a kite with a broken string, smashing into the distance. The red-haired man never dreamed that in just a few months Yi Chunfeng's strength had grown to such an extent. He was definitely no match for him. It's over. Let me send you to hell. With the help of the heavenly thunder battle armor, Yi Chunfeng blocked the remaining impact. Then, he roared, and the golden rock wings flapped violently as he quickly flew towards Shao Chen. He wanted to end Shao Chen's life while he was heavily injured. Stop! At this moment, the somewhat battered Ice Palace Grand Elder, Mo Hun and the rest passed through the destructive storm and caught up. When the Ice Palace Grand Elder saw that the red-haired man's life was in danger, he was shocked and let out a thunderous roar. Once the red-haired man died, the Ice Palace's overall strength would be greatly affected. 7 Swords of Judgment. Extreme chill. Yi Chunfeng ignored the Ice Palace Grand Elder's roar. 10 sword-type Tao patterns surged out from his body and quickly formed an extreme chill sword light. It slashed across the sky and left a deep sword scar in midair. It slashed towards the red-haired man at a speed that was hard to be seen with the naked eye. Deathly silent blade light. With his life hanging by a thread, the red-haired man ignited all the blood energy in his body. He quickly leapt up from the ground and gripped his low-grade heaven weapon. He slashed out a white blade light, wanting to block the extreme chill sword light. Boom! As the 2 soul skills clashed, the deathly silent blade light shattered like glass. The frightening extreme chill sword light didn't slow down at all as it pierced through the red-haired man's defenses. It pierced through his chest, creating a bloody hole. It's over. After severely injuring the red-haired man's body, Yi Chunfeng unleashed a punch with a force of 1,500,000 kilograms before the Ice Palace Grand Elder could. He directly exploded the red-haired man's head and ended his life. How dare you kill the great guardian of the Ice Palace? I won't let you off. Looking at the scene of the red-haired man's head exploding, the Ice Palace's great elder felt a surge of fury explode in his chest. He bellowed loudly like an enraged lion. I killed him. What can you do about it? Yi Chunfeng snorted coldly as he retorted. Don't talk nonsense with him. Kill him first. Mo Hun stared coldly at Yi Chunfeng. He wielded his 9-foot 9-inch dragonhead blade and slashed it towards him. 9 Heavens 8 Trigrams Formation. Mo Hun was a Class 5 Defiant Beast King. Facing his attack, Yi Chunfeng didn't dare to be careless. He decisively summoned the 9 Heavens 8 Trigrams Formation and enveloped Mo Hun within it. Formation. He actually has a formation. Formation was rarer and more precious than ordinary heaven weapons. Seeing Yi Chunfeng summon the 9 Heavens 8 Trigrams Formation, the Ice Palace Grand Elder and the rest felt that things were getting tricky. They all unleashed their powerful soul skills to attack the 9 Heavens 8 Trigrams Formation. They wanted to tear the formation apart and save Mo Hun. However, the 9 Heavens 8 Trigrams Formation's defensive abilities were terrifying. The Ice Palace Grand Elder and the rest couldn't tear the formation apart. With the help of the 9 Heavens 8 Trigrams Formation and many other trump cards, Yi Chunfeng was prepared to try and kill a Class 5 Defiant Beast King. For mobile users, please visit Chapter 384. Killing a Class 5 Defiant Beast King. Who are you? Mo Hun, a Class 5 Defiant Beast King, said in a low voice as he looked at the 9 heavens 8 trigrams formation that enveloped him. He could feel the murderous aura of the 999 offensive runes. You are a person who is about to die. There is no need for you to know who I am. Yi Qinfeng's lips curled up slightly as he spoke with killing intent. Ha ha ha, you want to kill me with your Class 6 Mystic Ancestor strength? I think your brain is really damaged. Although Yi Qinfeng was strong, Mo Hun didn't take him seriously. He laughed and said arrogantly, Dual-headed Blood Dragon King fuse. 8 slaughtering Azura art, 5 killing halos. Dragon Bloodline ignite. As Mo Hun laughed, Yi Qinfeng used his trump cards and raised his strength to a Class 3 Defiant Beast King. The powerful dragon's aura shocked Mo Hun. What soul skill is this? Mo Hun's smile froze when he sensed Yi Qinfeng's strength surpassing his cultivation realm consecutively. His eyes widened in shock. For the first time, he felt uneasy. Sword puppet, come out. Raising his strength to the limit, Yi Qinfeng summoned the sword spirit puppet, which had an invincible defense, and ordered it to attack Mo Hun. Exploding demonic blade break. When the sword puppet attacked, Mo Hun released a large amount of demonic aura. He held the dragon head blade with both hands and slashed at the sword puppet. Bang! An ear-piercing sound of metal clashing could be heard. A large amount of sparks shone on the surface of the sword puppet. What? When the dragon head blade slashed at the sword puppet, Mo Hun felt as if he was slashing at black iron. A strong rebounding force passed through the dragon head blade and into his arm, causing his arm to feel numb. 9 heavens 8 trigrams formation, attack. At this moment, Yi Qinfeng activated the 9 heavens 8 trigrams formation. The 8 trigrams formation that was formed by 999 offensive runes carried a terrifying destructive power and bombarded Mo Hun. Demon Bat Bloodline ignite. After failing to kill the sword puppet, Mo Hun had no choice but to burn his Demon Bat Bloodline to increase his strength to defend against the deadly attacks of the 8 trigrams formation. When Mo Hun relied on his absolute strength to withstand the attacks of the 8 trigrams formation, the sword puppet got close to him again and attacked him fiercely, forcing him to divert his attention to defend himself. Mo Hun was attacked from both sides. Yi Qinfeng, who had been waiting for an opportunity, made his move. 10 sword Dao patterns and 10 thunder Dao patterns quickly gathered and formed a huge crescent-shaped sword arc in the 9 heavens 8 trigrams formation. It locked onto Mo Hun. 7 Sword of Judgment, Waning Moon. With a slash of his sword, the incomparably sharp crescent moon split the space, cutting through everything in its path, and unstoppably slashed towards Mo Hun, whose expression had changed greatly. Myriad Transformations Black Lotus. Feeling the terror of the crescent moon sword arc, Mo Hun immediately opened his mouth. Thousands of demonic silks drilled out of his mouth and instantly turned into a demonic black lotus. It bloomed in the void and released boundless demonic power, clashing with the crescent moon sword light. Boom! A thunderous explosion resounded in the sky. The crescent moon sword arc blended with sword Dao patterns and thunder Dao patterns broke the myriad transformations black lotus. Demonic light, thunder, and sword Dao patterns intertwined and filled the 9 heavens 8 trigrams formation like raging waves, causing the entire formation to tremble. 8 trigrams formation attack. Yi Qinfeng used the heavenly thunder battle armor to neutralize most of the impact. He continued to control the 8 trigrams formation to attack, not giving Mo Hun any chance to take a breather. The sword puppet with invincible defense also burned a large amount of energy. It held a pair of low-grade heaven artifact heavenly swords and attacked Mo Hun fiercely, suppressing his attacks. Qi and Blood Ignite. Being attacked from both sides, Mo Hun, who was at an absolute disadvantage, had no choice but to burn his chi and blood energy to increase his strength and counterattack with all his might. He never dreamed that he, who was a Class 5 defiant Beast King, would be forced into such a miserable state by Yi Qinfeng. Even after using his trump cards consecutively, he still couldn't gain an absolute advantage. "I'm done playing games with you." As Yi Qinfeng spoke, he put the gigantic Fault Heavenly Sword into his Qianquan bag and took out the high-grade ruler weapon. "High-grade heaven artifact. You actually have a high-grade heaven artifact." Looking at the ruler weapon in Yi Qinfeng's hand and feeling the destructive power it contained, Mo Hun's expression changed drastically as he exclaimed. This was because even the rank 7 West Demon sect only had one high-grade heaven artifact, and it was in the hands of the sect master. However, Yi Qinfeng, who was only a Class 6 Mystic Beast Grandmaster, had one. This made Mo Hun wonder if Yi Qinfeng came from the eastern or central continent. Just as Mo Hun was distracted by his shock, Yi Qinfeng increased the power of the 9 Heavens 8 trigrams formation. The 999 attack patterns released the most powerful attack, which was like several overlapping mountains falling from the sky. It shattered Mo Hun's attack and pressed down heavily on his body, damaging his low-grade heaven artifact battle armor. Then, the sword spirit puppet, which had burned a large amount of its soul crystal, launched a fatal attack at him. The two swords, which were filled with the power of the sword, fiercely stabbed into his chest, piercing through the damaged low-grade heaven-grade battle armor and into his body, worsening his injuries. Flying Fairy Sword. Yi Qinfeng didn't waste such an excellent opportunity. The power of slaughter, 1,000,000 kilograms of force, the Thunder Dao pattern, and the Sword Dao pattern were all poured into the King armament, maximizing the offensive power of the King armament. Swish! The ruler weapon, which was infused with various energies, flashed with white light. It was like an otherworldly sword, tearing through the void, piercing through the void and stabbing towards Mo Hun, who was spitting out blood. Blood Demon Bug. At this critical moment, the severely injured Mo Hun swallowed a blood-red bug that contained terrifying demonic power into his stomach. In the next moment, his body underwent a transformation. His entire body was filled with disgusting blood lumps, and his strength was increasing along with the blood lump. Blood Demon Saber. With the increase in strength, Mo Hun slashed out a supreme-grade heaven skill at close range. The blood-red dragonhead saber slashed onto the flying fairy sword. The powerful attack power forcibly resisted the flying fairy sword's sure-kill attack. Although Mo Hun had used his final trump card to resist the flying fairy sword, he was unable to resist the 9 Heavens 8 trigrams formation and the sword puppet's attack. His body was continuously bombarded by the powerful attacks, worsening his injuries. The blood lumps on his body were crushed by the 8 trigrams formation's power, spurting out viscous blood. Blood Demon Bug, release the power. On the brink of death, Mo Hun did not hesitate to explode the power of the Blood Demon Bug to increase his strength to the maximum. Don't struggle in vain. Today you will definitely die. Black Flame Heavenly Fire, burn. As he spoke, the black flame heavenly fire gushed out of Yi Qinfeng's body like a black hurricane, engulfing the severely injured Mo Hun and burning his body. After being burned by the black flame heavenly fire, Mo Hun, whose low-grade heaven artifact battle armor was severely damaged, could not resist at all. His entire body was burned into a bloody mess as he struggled and roared in pain. It's over. Seeing that Mo Hun could not hold on any longer, Yi Qinfeng summoned back his king weapon and was about to launch a fatal attack to end Mo Hun's life. Damn brat, I don't care who you are. Go to hell with me. Facing Yi Qinfeng's endless attacks, Mo Hun knew that there was no way out. He roared out crazily as a powerful explosive power gushed out from his body. Not good. Yi Qinfeng was most afraid of Mo Hun's self-destruction. The moment Mo Hun self-destructed, Yi Chunfeng decisively wanted to withdraw the 9 Heaven 8 trigrams formation and dodge. However, Mo Hun's self-destruction speed was too fast. In the blink of an eye, his entire body exploded along with the blood demon bug that he had swallowed. The powerful explosive power was like an erupting volcano as it exploded in the 9 Heaven 8 trigrams formation. It tore apart the space and bombarded Yi Chunfeng. Sword puppet block. At the critical moment, Yi Chunfeng ordered the sword puppet to block in front of him, maximizing the defensive power of the Heavenly Thunder battle armor and taking the blow of Mo Hun's self-destruction head-on. Although the sword puppet had neutralized most of the attack, Yi Chunfeng was still heavily injured. His body heavily crashed into the wall of the 9 Heaven 8 trigrams formation. A large amount of blood flowed out from the dim Heavenly Thunder battle armor. After being hit by Mo Hun's self-destruction, Yi Chunfeng was heavily injured. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button below to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 385. Damn it. This Mo Hun is too crazy. Are all the people from the Western Devil sect crazy? The pale-faced Yi Chunfeng spat out a mouthful of blood as he muttered to himself with a lingering fear. If it wasn't for the sword puppet neutralizing most of the explosion and the fact that he was wearing a mid-grade Heaven artifact battle armor with extraordinary physical strength, the self-explosion of the Grade 5 Defiant Beast King would have been enough to kill him. However, even if he managed to escape, Yi Chunfeng was still severely injured, especially his meridians, organs, and bones. He was unable to withstand a high-intensity battle. Life intent recover. With severe injuries, Yi Chunfeng drank a mouthful of Heaven Fate water to recover his depleted soul power. He circulated the life intent, and 10 life Tao patterns appeared on his body, rapidly healing his injuries. Rumble. Just as Yi Chunfeng was recovering in the 9 Heavens 8 trigrams formation, he was attacked by Mo Hun's self-explosion. The 9 Heavens 8 trigrams formation cracked. Seizing this opportunity, the Ice Palace's Great Elder and the others attacked Yi Chunfeng. Sword puppet blocked the attacks. With severe injuries, Yi Chunfeng's strength was greatly reduced. He immediately ordered the sword puppet to block in front of him, blocking the ferocious attacks from the Ice Palace's Great Elder and the others. 9 Heavens 8 trigrams formation withdraw. After the sword puppet withstood a round of attacks, Yi Chunfeng immediately withdrew the 9 Heavens 8 trigrams formation. He shouted at the Chaos Divine Beast that was suppressing Mo Lihai, "Hun done, don't fight. Let's go." Roar. Hearing Yi Chunfeng's shout, the Chaos Divine Beast roared at the sky. The spatial distortions blasted at Mo Lihai, shattering his attack and pushing him back dozens of meters. "Boss, that bastard injured you." When the Chaos Divine Beast flew to Yi Chunfeng's side, he noticed that Yi Chunfeng was severely injured and asked angrily, "I'm fine. Let's leave this place first." Yi Chunfeng took a deep breath and operated the life concept, forcibly suppressing the injuries on his body. He put the sword spirit puppet into his cosmos ring and quickly flew out of the desolate swamp with the divine beast of chaos. "Where are you going?" While Yi Chunfeng was breaking out of the encirclement, Mo Lihai found out that Mo Lihai had died. He was enraged. He quickly flapped his soul wings and chased after Yi Chunfeng with the Ice Palace Elder. Golden Rock Bloodline burn. Yi Chunfeng was heavily injured, so his flying speed was greatly reduced. Sensing that Mo Lihai and the others were getting closer, Yi Chunfeng quickly burned his Golden Rock Bloodline to increase his flying speed. "Protector Mo-san, don't let them get away. Otherwise, once they announce our secret collaboration to the public, they will definitely ruin our plans," the Ice Palace's first elder urged anxiously as she watched Yi Chunfeng fly faster and faster. "Don't worry, he won't be able to escape. Emo Lehigh said with a gloomy face. He constantly used his trump cards to increase his flying speed and forcefully close the distance between him and Yi Chunfeng. Boss, I will stop them. You go to the edge of the barren swamp and wait for me. Yi Chunfeng burned his golden rock bloodline and increased his flying speed for more than an hour. Slowly, the life Dao could no longer suppress his injuries. His flying speed slowed down again, allowing Emo Lehigh and the others to close the distance between them. Seeing that Emo Lehigh had caught up to them, the Chaos Divine Beast roared and decisively turned around. It exploded with powerful soul power and attacked Emo Lehigh, who was the strongest. Tiger Demon Heavenly Spear. Emo Lehigh knew how terrifying the Chaos Divine Beast was. Without waiting for it to get close, Emo Lehigh quickly fused with the green spear in his hand. Like a black tiger, he aggressively stabbed at the Chaos Divine Beast. Roar! The Chaos Divine Beast let out a roar and spat out a dragon-like soul light at the incoming demonic tiger Heavenly Spear. It heavily bombarded the spear and forcibly blocked Emo Lehigh's ferocious attack. Let's attack together and destroy this beast's soul first. Emo Lehigh was well aware of how terrifying the Chaos Divine Beast was. He knew that he couldn't kill the Chaos Divine Beast on his own. When the Chaos Divine Beast blocked the Demon Tiger Heavenly Spear and attacked him, he immediately gathered everyone's strength and surrounded the Chaos Divine Beast. Motherf *Ker, I'm really a tiger that can be bullied by dogs. Small fries like you, I could kill 10 of you with a fart. Surrounded by Devilizia, the Ice Palace's Grand Elder, and the others, the Chaos Divine Beast immediately fell into a predicament. Ferocious soul skills continuously damaged its soul and worsened its injuries. Just as the Chaos Divine Beast's injuries were getting more and more serious, and it was preparing to break out with all its might, a sharp spear light tore through the sky, piercing toward the Ice Palace's Great Elder at the level of a level 4 Reverse Beast King. Not good. With the sudden danger behind him, the Ice Palace's Elder reacted instinctively. He quickly turned around to block, and an ice blade filled with dense cold chi struck the spear. 1. A powerful rebounding force reverberated in midair. The Ice Palace's Chief Elder felt a violent force pass through the ice blade and into his arm, causing his skin and flesh to split open. Large amounts of blood flowed out from the wound. Fu Qingshan, you actually dare to come back. Seeing the stalwart figure that stabbed the Ice Palace's Elder, Emo Lehigh's expression turned gloomy. Thick flames shot out from his eyes as he gritted his teeth. The plan that seemed to be foolproof was ruined by Yi Chunfeng. Not only did Fu Qingshan and the rest escape, but Emo Hun also died. This made Emo Lehigh unable to accept this fact. He didn't dare to think about what kind of punishment he would have to endure if he returned to the Western Devil Sect. Why wouldn't I dare to come back? Fu Qingshan said domineeringly. Emo Hun is already dead. With your strength, do you think you can stop us? Haha, well said. Wait until I recover my strength and rebuild my body. I will definitely flatten your stupid sect. Fu Qingshan's timely appearance greatly reduced the pressure on the divine beast of chaos. He roared at the sky and said arrogantly, "Everyone, listen up. Destroy them at all costs. Whoever can injure them will be rewarded with a low-grade heaven weapon." Emo Lehigh's face turned green as he ordered loudly. He took out the blood demon bug that Emo Hun had consumed and swallowed it. In the next moment, a powerful demonic chi exploded from his body. His entire body started to mutate. Disgusting blood bumps appeared on his body. His cultivation level had also reached the level of a level 6 Defiant Beast King. Let's go. Just as Emo Hun was using the blood demon bug to forcefully increase his strength, Fu Qingshan and the divine beast of chaos didn't continue fighting. They quickly broke out of the desolate swamp. Where do you think you are going? Emo Lehigh, whose body had mutated, roared. The spear in his hand spun rapidly, turning into a spear shadow whirlwind. It swept up thousands of huge waves and swept towards Fu Qingshan and the divine beast of chaos. Damn it. If I don't show you my power, do you really think I'm a pig? Sensing that Mo Lihai's spear was filled with fatal energy and had locked onto him, the divine beast of chaos was instantly enraged. He decisively burned his soul to increase his strength as much as possible. Like a huge meteorite, he crashed into Mo Lihai. Boom! A thunderous sound rang out in the sky above the desolate swamp. It was like the roar of a deity, reverberating in all directions. In the next moment, a terrifying energy storm spread in the sky. The power was so strong that the void was distorted, and endless waves were created. It directly sent the divine beast of chaos and Mo Lihai flying. Let's go. After burning his soul and injuring Mo Lihai, the divine beast of chaos immediately parasitized Fu Qingshan and urged loudly. Alright. Fu Qingshan didn't hesitate. His fiery red soul wings flapped rapidly as he flew towards the periphery of the desolate swamp. When the heavily injured Mo Lihai and the Ice Palace Great Elder passed through the destructive storm, Fu Qingshan and the divine beast of chaos were long gone. For mobile users, please visit